missing, and then also with how and why Mike Evans was playing in a Week 18 game that had no bearing on seeding whatsoever.
Tim Hasselbeck, Ravens coach John Harbaugh isn't naming a starting quarterback yet for Sunday night's game against the Bengals. It'll either be Tyler Huntley or rookie Anthony Brown. Cincinnati wideout T. Higgins will be available after a non-COVID-related illness earlier in the week. Vikings center Garrett Bradbury will be ready to start Sunday against the Giants. Bradbury missed more than a month with a back injury. ESPN's Diana Rossini reports Sean McVay will be staying on as the Rams head coach. After winning the Super Bowl last season, the Rams went 5-12 this year and missed the playoffs.
We all know the game isn't over till it's over. So next time you need parts for your car, don't call it quits. Go to eBay Motors. They have 122 million parts to take your car into overtime. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Let's ride.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Theriot, 1 hour from right now. Mickey Loomis met with reporters on Friday to put a button finally on the Saints season and kind of to look ahead to the offseason. And most notably, the question where I guess we all have to start is whether or not Dennis Allen would definitively be back for 2023 and a second football season. Here was the question and the answer.
Dennis Allen's definitely staying as the head coach.
Yeah, yes.
Terrific. So Dennis Allen's back. We can expect another season of mediocrity, probably around 500 football, and we'll be right here next year having the exact same conversation. But Dennis Allen will be back. No great surprise there. We all expected it at this point, so terrific. Dennis Allen returns. The bigger question for New Orleans in this offseason is going to be about Sean Payton, because the Saints that's their greatest asset, as we've gone over many, many times. Michael Thomas is not tradable, and essentially every other player that the Saints have signed to a long-term deal and or have restructured their contracts, they are not tradable, because while some of them may be good players, their contracts are not tradable. As I'll remind you, you are not only trading a player, you are also trading that player's contract. It's part of the reason why Derek Carr is not tradable, because who's going to give the Raiders an asset to take on a quarterback and give $40+ million against the cap for the next 2 seasons? It's just, he's not tradable. So the asset that the Saints have is Sean Payton, at least his rights. We've been over this, but Saints have Sean Payton under contract for 2 more years. If he wants to coach, then some team is going to have to give the Saints something to allow them the right to hire Sean Payton. So Mickey Loomis was peppered with some questions like that. First, he was asked if they had settled on the compensation. Some of the reports had been the Saints want a first-rounder for Sean Payton, but Loomis was a bit more coy.
No, we haven't settled on exactly what the compensation is going to be yet, but they're well aware that there's going to be compensation. Look, the reason I'm being a little bit coy about this is that it's going to be different for every team, because they have different picks and they have different things available to them.
And so we know the 3 teams right now that have been granted permission to interview Sean Payton. It's the Cardinals, the Texans, and the Broncos. So the Cardinals would look, if the Saints do hold to wanting a first-round draft pick, the Cardinals have the 4th pick. So that would be the most appealing thing, right? If you could somehow wrestle the 4th pick in the draft away from the Cardinals. You can draft your franchise quarterback in round 1, and you could go from there to see if that's someone that would actually make sense. The Texans have the 2nd pick, which I think we all agree is not something that they would likely be willing to part with in this deal. But the Texans also will have the 12th pick in the draft, which they acquired via trade for Deshaun Watson from the Browns. So the Texans have the 2nd and the 12th. If you can't get the 2nd pick, would you take the 12th pick in round 1 for Sean Payton? I would suggest so. And then Denver, of course, we're going to wait and see where Denver's pick falls after the playoffs that they acquired via San Fran, via Miami with the Bradley Chubb deal. But anyway, it'll be a spot after the top 18 picks, which have settled. Now the playoff seeding will determine, where that pick will fall. But maybe the more interesting thing what Loomis said there is he did say picks. He said it's going to be different for every team because they have different picks and different things available to them. Now, maybe that's semantics and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but maybe the Saints could get more than one pick. Look, the only way that the Saints have any path back to relevancy in short order is if they nail this draft. It's got to be like 2017, because the only way that you're going to be able to overcome your cap insufficiency and, quite honestly, your quarterback situation, but that may come in the draft, is by nailing this draft. If you nail this draft and you get a whole bunch of guys that become starting players on rookie contracts, that's how you do it. That's how the Saints put together that great run from 17 to 20, where they made 4 straight playoff appearances and got so close several times. But it's really the only way they're going to be able to do it. Maybe they could recoup some draft capital. Now, a big part of this, of course, is the cap issue. And Loomis didn't shy away from that today, talking about the Saints' salary cap issues that they have heading into this offseason.
The cap is a challenge. Look, it's going to be a challenge. It's always been a challenge for us, for the last, 5 or 6 years. When you have a good team, that's what happens. But, I think the COVID year obviously created a little bit more of a challenge for us than we expected, and we'll deal with it. There's nothing there that it's always concerning. So I don't want to say it's not concerning, and yet, I think we do a good job of handling that.
The COVID year exacerbated the challenge. It didn't create the challenge. And I'm not criticizing here because I knew we all knew what they were doing. They were in perpetual win now mode. The Saints mortgaged the future with bad contracts and restructures to win now, to create cap space to win now. They just didn't win a Super Bowl. It's not that dissimilar from what the Denver Broncos did when they had Peyton Manning. They knew they had a short window with an old quarterback. They went all in. They made it to 2 Super Bowls. They won one of them. They haven't made the playoffs in 7 years since. And that's a similar reality the Saints are facing if they can't figure out quarterback. But the Broncos got their Super Bowl. The Saints didn't. Again, so I'm not criticizing. I understand why they did it, and it would be hypocritical of me to now, with the benefit of hindsight, say that was the wrong path. I didn't criticize them at the time because I understood what they were doing. It just didn't work. And that sucks, but that's the reality. But you're $53 million over the cap right now. That's not a situation created by COVID. Essentially, it's like if you buy on your credit card every single thing you do on your credit card, and when you get your paycheck, you're going to pay down that credit card. Well, okay, but something like COVID or some life event happens, and now your paycheck is gone or reduced, and you can't make those payments. The situation wasn't created by the event. The event exacerbated the situation you created by your poor financial decisions. That's where the Saints are right now. So at $53 million over the cap, they're going to have a lot of work to do here in this offseason to get cap compliant and to try to field a team that's going to be able to try to compete. And that's the real frustrating thing, because you still have some great players, but great players that are near the end of their career that want to win. Cameron Jordan, DeMario Davis. I'm not going to say Alvin Kamara is near the end of his career, but he's pushing on a 30-year-old back. He's been in the league for 7 years now, and we all know what the shelf life of a running back in the NFL is. So you're looking at guys that are veteran players that are going to want an opportunity to win, and realistically, you may not be able to do it in New Orleans. A couple of other things. Mickey Loomis was asked about the Michael Thomas restructure, which we talked about earlier this week. For all intents and purposes, that ends Michael Thomas's time in New Orleans, but Mickey Loomis stopped short of saying that.
Yeah, I think we just wanted some flexibility for both of us to, see where we're at going forward and give us a little time to, work on that. Look, the main thing here with Mike is for him to get healthy and get back being the player that he's been for us in the past. And, look, I was really excited about him at the beginning of our season, and unfortunately he had the toe injury and that had to get taken care of, but it's not anything that he can't come back from.
Mickey Loomis said it creates flexibility, but we've been over it before. That the numbers tell you Michael Thomas is not going to be back in New Orleans, because if he's on this roster in the middle of March, he's guaranteed a $30+ million contract or roster bonus for 2024, which there's just no chance the Saints will allow that to happen. So Mickey Loomis won't say it, but it's an actions speak louder than words type deal. Look at the contract. Michael Thomas is going to be done in New Orleans. And the other thing, too, that people often ask is about staff changes, and everyone wants to know about Pete Carmichael. And Mickey Loomis obviously wasn't going to say much on that, so here was his very pithy answer.
Yeah, no, we haven't even really discussed it, to be honest with you.
Okay. So if they haven't discussed it, that's foolish. So I'm assuming they have. He's just not going to say it, and that's okay. But you're coming off a season where you were 7-10. A season where you were anemic offensively. And if you try to keep the status quo in place, what's the Einstein about the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result? Like, you can't do this again and expect a different result. You have to make dramatic changes. You can't stay the course here with what you did this year, because the results are what they are. And now this is back-to-back seasons you missed the playoffs. So you are going to have to add an option at quarterback that gives you a chance to be more explosive. You're going to have to add some different mind, some different voice into the offensive coaching staff that's going to give you opportunities to be a more dynamic offense, because you're not that right now. So my assumption here is that staff changes are going to come. And if they don't, then the people responsible for not making the staff changes ultimately are putting themselves at risk, namely guys like Mickey Loomis. Okay, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. If you want to weigh in, you can. One of the quarterback options that was potentially on the table for New Orleans is seemingly now off of the table. We'll delve into that here a little bit. And welcome your calls, texts, emails, and tweets. You can always feel free to get it in. Stay here. It's a Monday edition, it's a Friday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about New Orleans flooring. I was at lunch today and with our HUDCO crew, and had a buddy bumped into at lunch and started asking me about New Orleans flooring. Word is getting out, certainly. New Orleans flooring, 2 locations, of course, in Metairie and then on Prairieville, Airline Highway in Prairieville. New Orleans flooring, it's nolaflooring.com. Go to the website at nolaflooring.com. The thing that I keep stressing about New Orleans flooring is you're getting a superior product at a dramatically reduced price. They manufacture their own product. And because they manufacture their own product, they can offer it to you at deep discounts because there's no middleman. And they have their product stored on site, so you can buy it today and they can install it tomorrow. It's New Orleans flooring. If you're a homeowner, if you're a contractor, if you need flooring, you need New Orleans flooring. NOLAflooring.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Black Widow Jeep Gladiators in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility. moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Start your day with news and newsmakers. Start your day with traffic, weather, and local stories that are important to you. Kickstart your day every day. Mornings.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Anything that's funny?
No, I don't think it's funny.
I get it. So I'm wearing a vest, so what, a Marty?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little appropriate. It's not just the vest, though, Matt. I mean, the shirt. You're rocking some jeans. I mean, of course, you got the kicks on. I mean, you kind of got a Marty McFly thing we're rocking today.
I'll always show off my shoes. My shoes are way better than Marty's, though.
Well, not the Back to the Future 2 ones, where, I mean, they just, like, form fit to your foot. Those are pretty awesome.
Got my my Blazer SBs on today. Shout out Ruckus. Got the orange Nike check, the swoosh on the tongue, so you know it came from a skate shop.
Oh.
Skate shop exclusive. Check them. I do kind of I have a Marty vibe going today.
You do?
I do. A little bit. Although the sweater vest, this isn't a sweater vest, just a vest, right? Yeah, not a sweater vest. A sweater vest would be like a sweater material. This is like the, what do you call these?
A puffy jacket is what I call it, honestly.
It's like except it's green. It's not red.
Yeah.
Marty's was red.
His was red.
Yeah. I know vests were such a thing in the 80s. Or were they not a thing in the 80s? Was it just a Marty thing that made it a thing?
I was about to say, was it Marty that caused it?
Well, I mean, he had to see it somewhere.
I guess it's true.
But while I lived in the 80s, 80s culture wasn't my thing so much as 90s culture was my thing. I was born in 82. So, but shout out Marty McFly, Doc, the whole gang there, the Back to the Future gang, BTTF. There was some kid from Cristo Rey, or whatever the school's called now, was Cristo Rey before, who works here. I shouldn't say some kid. One of the students from the school who
you know.
Anyway, the young man from the school who works at Guarantee as part of their work study program was talking to me earlier today. Forgive me, I forgot his name. I don't know if you know his name. Of course you don't. And he was trying to. And this kid's probably 15 years old. He's high school. He's a 15, 16-year-old high school kid, and he's trying to tell me about Back to the Future. I'm like, son, please just.
At least he's seen it.
Yeah, he has.
I mean, come on.
He was trying to tell me Back to the Future 3 was the best one. I'm like,
no.
You need to leave.
That's not true.
That's terrible. Well, then again, you're the guy who says Rocky 4 is the best one, which is fundamentally false for the same way. You're in the Rocky 4 category.
And Rocky 4 is great. I don't know if I've ever said it's the best one.
We have been over this before.
Have we? Okay.
Rocky 4 is an atrocious piece of cinema. it tugs at your heartstrings because it's the U.S.
and
you wrap
Russia,
the flag
yeah.
and people know the Drago thing and all. But as far roughly a third of the movie is a montage. It was something that was horribly and hastily put together. The Rocky won the Academy Award. I mean, it's the Rocky, the original, is the best movie of all of them. All of the others are just money grabs. And they're fun, and that's fine and all. But as far as being a piece of cinema, they're terrible. Rocky IV is terrible.
Rocky 3 is worse than Rocky 4, I think.
I actually disagree. Rocky 3 is better than, if you go back and watch them, Rocky, you're wrapping yourself in the American flag and the Drago and all that sort of stuff, which has those elements to it. But as a movie, Rocky 3 is better than Rocky 4. But I get why people like Rocky 4. I get why people like Rocky 4. I mean, it's fun.
It's a good movie.
It's not, but it's fun.
It's a good movie. It's not a great movie.
It's not a good movie. It's a fun movie. There's a difference. Like Dumb and Dumber, not a great movie, but it's a lot of fun. You know what I mean?
It's too much fun.
It's a tremendous amount. I love to laugh at it. I love all the lines. It's wonderful. I love it. Not a great movie. Okay, we'll move on here. It's After Further Review. We appreciate you for hanging out with us here. Terry will be here next hour. We'll talk plenty about the NFL playoffs coming up this weekend as well. Of course, you want to bet on, you can do so over the DraftKings Sportsbook. Otter and his guys were doling out picks earlier today. Paul Nolan was here yesterday, gave you Baltimore and the points, 9.5. I heard some of the guys from Otter show earlier today. A lot of those, the sharp action on San Francisco, laying a big number, but really liked the Niners. Bruce Marshall was on with Otter, liked I know he liked the Giants. I think he had the Giants winning the game outright against Minnesota. Had Jacksonville as well against the Chargers. So if you want to place your bets, you can do so at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. If you're a new customer, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet $5 on the NFL playoffs. Again, bet just $5 on the NFL playoffs. They're going to give you $200 in free bets. It's at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. One free bet issued based on amount of initial losing NFL bet up to $10. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Licensing partner Gold Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. Thank you. Cristo Rey is now called Franciscan High School. It's the old, for those who don't know who aren't in Baton Rouge, the old Redemptorist High location. Cristo Rey was a school, and and now it's been renamed to. I just read it. Franciscan High. So it's a really cool program where they take students and they do a work-study program. So one day a week or so, they partner with businesses, and these young people get to go actually be in sort of a business environment and culture for whatever they're interested in. So it's a really, really cool program. Anyway, but thanks to Steven who texted me that. As I had forgotten the new name of the school. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. I mentioned, so we opened up the show today, talk a little bit about Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis. Loomis met with reporters today on Friday, sort of as the season recap and looking ahead in the offseason. He did confirm Dennis Allen will be back next year. They haven't considered staff changes. Teams interested in Sean Payton know what compensation will be required to acquire Sean Payton. Talked about a lot of that, talked about the cap. So we let you hear a lot of that in the first segment. One of the big situations that the Saints are going to face this offseason, obviously, is at quarterback. And Loomis did talk a good bit. Can you play number 9, please? Here was Loomis's thoughts about quarterback heading into this offseason.
That gets back to, our evaluation of the roster. We haven't done that yet. We're going to do that in the coming weeks, and then I'll be able to give you a little more definitive answers. But obviously, we're disappointed in the end result. 7-10 wasn't what our expectations were coming into the season, and we didn't make the playoffs, so obviously we're not happy about that. And yet, I also thought that, there's a lot of really positive things that happened during the course of the season that give me optimism going forward.
So Andy Dalton is a free agent. He signed a 1-year deal. A 1-year, $3 million deal. So you could bring back Andy Dalton, but if Andy Dalton is being brought back to be your starting quarterback, again, you're going to be right in the same situation again next year that you are right now. He's just not a competent, let me rephrase. He's a competent starter. He can get you in and out of the huddle and go function your offense. You're just not going to be elite. You will not be a playoff team with Andy Dalton. He was also asked about Jameis Winston, and he was asked specifically if Jameis and his camp have asked for a trade.
No, they haven't asked for a trade or anything like that. So that hasn't happen. As far as the rest of it, again, that's just part of, we're going to go through this evaluation process, and then we'll, communicate we'll develop an off-season plan. We'll communicate to our players, and we'll go from there.
Jameis's deal, remember, he signed a 2-year, $28 million contract last offseason with New Orleans. Now, the Saints do have an out, which they're going to exercise. Jameis would be owed $12.8 million cash if he's with the Saints next year. He's not going to be. So they are going to exercise. They will opt out of this contract. The Saints will after this season. It's just impossible to imagine Jameis being on the roster. They have an opportunity to save $12 million in cap space if they designate Jameis as a post-June 1st release or trade. I don't know that they'll be able to trade him, but with that number. So Jameis won't be back. That much is obvious. This coaching staff, the organization now, clearly doesn't value him the way that Sean Payton did. So they're going to move on. Might they bring back Andy Dalton? We'll see. But we've gone through a lot of the list of what quarterbacks might be available. And a year ago, the pie in the sky option would have been Aaron Rodgers, who he was teetering on whether or not he was going to return to Green Bay, retire, or play elsewhere. And because of the friction in the front office, it certainly seemed like Aaron Rodgers' time in Green Bay was done. Ultimately, they did get a deal done to bring him back to Green Bay, and it was a 3-year, $150 million contract. Now, Rodgers, if you watched on Sunday Night Football when they lost to the Lions, he and Randall Cobb kind of walking arm in arm off the field, it certainly looked like he was walking off longingly, like he was leaving Lambeau Field for the final time in his career. That's what it felt like if you were watching, or certainly could have been. Well, not if the Packers have anything to say about it. Packers GM Brian Gutekunst said on Friday, quote, that he wants, well, this isn't a quote, excuse me, but he says they want Aaron Rodgers back. Said if they were planning on moving on from Aaron Rodgers, that he would absolutely be okay with telling him that. But he said, quote, you got to be honest with him. You know what I mean? I think he deserves that if we get to that point, but we're not at that point. Saying that they're not ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers. And a big part of it, I would think, is financial, where, look, after this year, the Packers could opt out of this contract for Aaron Rodgers, and they'd carry a $24 million dead cap number. But if Rodgers is on the roster next year, they'd carry a $31 million dead cap number. So or cap number, excuse me. So they could save money by moving on from Aaron Rodgers, but to have Aaron Rodgers on your roster next year at $31 million feels like a relative bargain for Aaron Rodgers. Now, when you get beyond that, the numbers get sort of outsized. In 2024, it's a $40 million cap hit, then a $59 million cap hit, then a $53 million cap hit. So I think those numbers feel a bit unrealistic for Aaron Rodgers. But next year, if Rodgers wants to play football again, Green Bay is the likely spot. So if you're a Saints fan looking at Aaron Rodgers as a possibility, you can certainly punt that. The more interesting question would be Jordan Love. So Jordan Love, of course, was a first-round draft pick, the Green Bay Packers, who's only started one game. It was the game a season ago, and Rodgers missed because he had COVID. So if you're the Saints and you're looking potentially to do a deal for a player that's rotting on a bench somewhere, Jordan Love would sort of be an option. Now, what type of evaluation did the Saints have on Jordan Love when he was coming out of the draft? And because we haven't really seen him play at all, what do they think of him now? That's something only Mickey Loomis, Jeff Ireland, the rest of the Saints front office could answer. But that's one of those things where you could say, okay, is that a possibility? And for what it's worth, the Packers have said they could not imagine seeing both Rodgers and Love on the roster in 2024. The reason, the Packers would have to exercise Jordan Love's fifth-year option as a first-round pick. That would cost them some $20 million. In 2024, that means Aaron Rodgers would be on the books for $40 million, and Jordan Love, your backup quarterback, would be on the books for $20 million. That is fundamentally absurd. So this could be a time, if you're the Saints or any team who is looking for a quarterback, to maybe go to the Packers with your best offer for Jordan Love, if that's the guy you covet. Again, it's very hard to sit here and say, I want Jordan Love, because we haven't seen Jordan Love play. But here's what I know. I know Andy Dalton is not taking the Saints anywhere. And the Saints are not going to be able to acquire a franchise quarterback, an established franchise quarterback, because teams that have an established franchise quarterback don't let those players leave, ever. So if you're the Saints, you're going to have to take some sort of risk, but you're going to have to trust your evaluation. So do you take risk on Jordan Love and make a trade for him? Do you try to acquire Derek Carr, or do you think Carr is at a point in his career where he's beyond his best days? So then you're really just in a situation that you're in with Andy Dalton, just a few years younger. Do you take the risk in the draft with whatever assets you may have? Like, whatever it is, you're going to take a risk. There is no option. The Saints, people will say, well, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is going to be a Baltimore Raven. If they can't agree on a long-term deal, they're going to franchise tag him. They'll go in the same situation that Washington did with Kirk Cousins when they felt he was good, but are they really willing to commit the $150 million contract to him, whatever? And so ultimately they franchise tagged him and then they let him walk. Lamar Jackson is going to get franchise tagged, so you're not going to get that player either. You're going to have to take some risk somewhere along the way. You've just got to trust your evaluation and look at what assets you have and you're willing to give up for that player. But if the Saints come into next year, again with Andy Dalton, I can only laugh because if I didn't laugh, I'd cry. So Dalton may be back. He may be. I mean, you could sign him again on another 1 year, $3 million contract, and that's fine. But he can't be your starting quarterback. You've got to have somebody here that is a better option because we know what Andy Dalton's ceiling is, and it's low. You've got to bring in someone who has a dramatically higher ceiling. That may never reach it, but that's the risk you take. But it's the risk you have to take in the NFL in order to win at the highest level. All right, it's after further review. We'll do around the SEC coming up here in just a smidge. Theriot in about 30 minutes from right now. Muse will have Tigers and the Pros. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. As a matter of fact, we had lunch today over at Phil's Oyster Bar where Moranto and McKenzie were having their weigh-in for their celebrity boxing match tonight. Which is in part sponsored by Relief Windows. So I got to see Brandon Holly at lunch today. It was a who's who at Phil's today. Brandon Holly was there. Todd Graves was there. Darren James was there, who's also sponsoring the fight tonight as well. I'm telling you, it was there might have been an LSU football staff member who was there as well, who shall remain nameless. But it was a bit of a who's who around Phil's today. But it was great to see Brandon. And, of course, if you need energy-efficient replacement windows, entry doors or hardy plank or vinyl siding, it's Relief Windows. 288-8138 for Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Okay, we'll go around the SEC next, and Walker Howard has an official visit set for this weekend. We'll talk about it next on AFR.
AFR.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
You ever heard the tale of the misunderstood bull? A menacing beast who was born to float. A force of nature. The embodiment of grace. Quite grand, yet quiet.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I'm sorry, you're just too loud. Yeah, it's Huey Lewis in the skit. Did you know that?
Huey Lewis in the news?
No, that is Huey Lewis in the skit. The guy. So when Marty goes for...
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yes. So the guy at the megaphone goes, "I'm sorry, you're too loud." That's Huey Lewis.
Ah, yeah. I learned something today. How about that?
We'll do it in what we learned later in the show.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not at all. Yeah, so when they're going for the band audition for the Battle of the Bands, they're called the Pinheads.
Pinheads.
The Pinheads. They start to play Power of Love with a lot of, sort of, what'd you call it? A little funk on it.
I was about to say aggression.
Yeah. Anyway, the guy sitting there, the four people in the chairs, judging. The guy in the suit with the megaphone, because I'm sorry, you're too loud. That was Huey Lewis.
Okay, I never knew that.
Yeah. Write it down for what we learned a little bit. And maybe it'll pop up in a Pluckers Trivia question one day, Muse.
Maybe.
And if you get it wrong, I will be very disappointed in you. Walker Howard is going to visit Ole Miss. You've probably seen this news today. Interestingly, when Walker made the announcement that he was... I guess he never formally announced it. There was news started to leak that he was entering the transfer portal. Now it is formal today that his name has popped up in the transfer portal. That he's taking visits. But we talked about it the other day. There was this just general assumption that Walker Howard was going to be headed to TCU, and I kind of told you not so fast there. There are other options, and the other thing that was pretty clear on Wednesday was. There was a lot of initial interest right there in that very small window, but you wait another 24 hours, and how many more teams? Like literally any team in the country could have reached out to him, and some could be options he didn't even know existed. But I told you the other day that yes, TCU would certainly be on the list, but to watch out for Florida and Auburn, and that Alabama could throw their hat in the ring as well, which it appears that they have. And now Walker's taking a visit this weekend to Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin, that style of offense. Jackson Dart was there this year, but if you have the opportunity to bring in a player like Walker Howard, that would certainly makes sense for Lane Kiffin to do that. So we'll follow it, but you're starting to see more and more of that scuttle about places like Florida popping up for Walker Howard services, and I'll just repeat it. I mean, Walker, obviously from Lafayette, and very familiar with Billy Napier, and Napier with Howard, and families know each other, and there's a lot of reasons why that would make sense. And some of the pushback that I heard from folks was, Walker doesn't want to go in the SEC and play against his teammate, but his former teammates, but he's going to take a visit to Ole Miss, so you can scrap that. I mean, he's going to find a situation that's best for him and where he can play and be in an offense that suits his skill set and grow and develop. And there's a lot of reason to believe that one of those schools might be in the SEC. So Walker Howard's going to visit Ole Miss this weekend, and as other visits pop up, we'll let you know. But again, with many schools starting their spring semester next week, a decision has to be made pretty quickly because you're going to have to be enrolled, obviously, for the spring semester to be able to go through spring football, which presumably Walker Howard would do wherever he goes. Okay, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. You know where to find them at ShawBillsTire.com. As a matter of fact, I was driving down Burbank today, right there, next to Traction, where I went and worked out this morning. At Shaw Bills right there is my go-to, but you can find the Shaw Bills that's best for you. Airline Highway in Baton Rouge near Seagan, or any of the 17 locations. The newest location is in the LP there, Denham Springs. You got your own Shaw Bills now. From Morgan City up to Baton Rouge, west into West Baton Rouge toward Lafayette, and then Livingston Parish, they got you at Shaw Bills. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. All right, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Pete Golding is leaving Alabama for the same position at Ole Miss. Golding has been Alabama's defensive coordinator since 2018. He will now work under former Crimson Tide OC Lane Kiffin. Golding signed a 3-year extension in early 2021, so he's got 1 year left on his contract at Alabama, but he's headed to Oxford.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Mississippi State has their new athletics director. It's Zach Selman. He's 37 years old, was previously the deputy AD for external engagement and advancement at the University of Oklahoma. Selman replaces John Cohen, who left Mississippi State for the same position at Auburn.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia has seen its defections pick up. Cornerback Keely Ringo, offensive tackle Broderick Jones, and tight end Darnell Washington all headed to the NFL. Ringo is rated the 17th best player in the draft by Mel Kiper. That was brutal. I just hit Paulie's screen just flat on the back of that monitor. It's the vest. Yeah, I can't get full rotation with the vest. So that makes me wonder, how do baseball teams wear the vests? The shirts, the vest. I couldn't get full rotation on the vest.
Well, those should be outlawed.
I agree with you.
That's terrible. It's awful.
Terrible. Jones, sophomore, listed as the 20th best prospect, according to Todd McShay. And Washington's the number 3 tight end, according to McShay. 4 more Georgia backups entered the portal on Friday.
The Florida Gators.
4th-year Florida forward C.J. Felder is taking a leave of absence from the men's basketball program. Gators said they did not anticipate Felder's decision. He's a former Boston College transfer, and his absence really leaves Florida without its primary backup opposite Colin Castleton, which means Alex Fudge likely takes a lot of those minutes. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. You know where to find them. GCOPnet.com, GCOPnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Paulie didn't even flinch. That one, I buzzed the tower with that one, Paulie. Gulf Coast Office Products, official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, and the ULL Raging Cajuns. All right, Theriot coming up here in about 15 minutes from right now. We'll get to Ryan's letter. We'll get to Kick Rocks. We want to talk about the Simone Augustus statue, which is coming this weekend. Sunday, they'll unveil that. Want to get Ryan's thoughts also on Walker Howard leaving LSU. By the way, the Pete Golding story, some people may wonder why he's leaving Alabama for Ole Miss. A couple of things I can tell you. Number one, Pete Golding, who many know is from Hammond, met his wife at Delta State, and while his parents still live in Tangipahoa, her parents live just outside of Oxford. So the move gets them closer to her family, but also it's a quality of life thing. And you hear this so often with Nick Saban assistants. Like, they don't want to work 18 and 20-hour days. And that's what Nick demands. And after a certain amount of time, assistants move on from Alabama because of that. People don't want to keep that pace. Look, I love Coach Pete Jenkins. He said this on the record. Like, when he was working at LSU back in the early 2000s under Nick, he initially retired from coaching. He's like, because he said he's eating every meal out of a styrofoam box in the coach's office. He's like, I was going to kill myself. And ultimately went to the pros and coached with the Eagles and came back obviously into the college game as well. But it's not a criticism of Nick. I mean, he's the greatest for a reason, but it wears on coaches. I mean, you've heard that for decades now. And apparently it just brought Pete Golding to this end. So Pete Golding is going to go join Lane Kiffin there in Oxford. And as a young guy, he'll have a head coaching opportunity somewhere along the way, but he'll head to Ole Miss, leaving the D.C. job vacant now at Alabama. All right, it is after further review. Let me knock out our final break of hour number one. Muso will have Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number one next, and Theriot in 15 minutes. It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery, and we are headed into a beautiful weekend, so it's a great chance to get by Clegg's. It's going to be a little chilly as we've seen those temperatures drop a little as I kind of look at the weather app right now. Today, the high of 54. Tomorrow, high of 55, low of 32. But don't let that deter you. Next week, we're back up into the upper 70s. And with so many of these shade and fruit trees, this is the time to plant it. You plant now, you don't have to worry about frost protection or anything. Citrus trees you do, but not with other things like plum or pear trees or some of the shade trees or bushes that we talk about. This is the time of year to plant, and Clegg's gets truckloads of them every week. So you want the best selection, the best price, the friendliest people, the most knowledgeable horticulturists. You want Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations: Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Partnered with True Value Hardware Store, so anything you'd find at a True Value Hardware Store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2022 Ford F-150, plus no payments for 90 days and 2.9% APR for 72 months. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. At least 32 different clerk of courts across Louisiana are offline after a cyber attack. The clerk of courts have been dealing with this for 3 weeks now, and it involves any public entity that uses the COT system. That company has a message on their website saying they are experiencing technical difficulties. Right now, clerks are having to do things the old-fashioned way with a pen and paper. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
I've got that blue sky, I've got that sunshine.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. If you missed the start of the show, we talked a little bit about, let's hear a lot of what Mickey Loomis had to say today as Saints GM met with reporters to sort of recap the season and look ahead to the offseason. So got into a lot of that. Theriot is coming up here in about 10 minutes from right now. We'll get his thoughts on the Walker Howard news. We're inching closer, man. We're 5 weeks away from season opener at the box. 5 weeks. Incredible. Last night, had a great opportunity to get out to St. Thomas Aquinas and Hammond. They had their first pitch banquet for their baseball team, was invited to MC the event, and Jay Johnson and Matt Reiser were the guest speakers. So it was interesting to listen to both of them, and that, man, boy, they're sharp. And I know we talk about it often, but Louisiana college baseball in this state is just in phenomenal hands. You know, Reiser, who's I couldn't even believe Matt Reiser was an assistant under J.R. Teagues, who was also there last night, but when J.R. Teagues retired from baseball to become the athletic director, Reiser was promoted to head coach. He was 28, 29 years old. He's 10 years into his tenure there at Southeastern now. He's been to 4 regionals. Just so much great baseball being played in the state. It's exciting with baseball season right around the corner. Okay, Muso. Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
If you like oddities in sports, you're going to love Ben Simmons' stat line from last night.
Yes.
Ben Simmons and the Nets, 26 minutes for Benny Boy. He didn't score a single point. 0.
Okay.
Goose egg. 0 for 3 from the floor.
He's not there to score.
No. He's there to pass the ball, Matt.
Yeah.
How about 13 assists?
Beautiful. That's what he's there for.
He's there to grab rebounds. How about 9 of them?
Yeah.
He missed the double-double by 1 rebound while not scoring any points. That is sick. I love it.
I'm down.
2 steals and a block for Ben as well. A little bit of foul trouble with 5 of them last night. Celtics beat the Nets 109-98. G League action last night. Emmitt Smith, a quiet night for him as well. Just 1 of 2 in 12 minutes for 4 points. Did grab 2 rebounds, a steal, and a block for his efforts along the way as well. Skylar Mays, pretty good night for old Skylar Mays. 18 minutes, 14 points in those 18 minutes. Shot 6 of 9 from the floor. 3 assists and a board for Sky as well.
Oh, look at that picture. Is that
that's
like a current picture of where's that from, Paulie? From which school?
That's him with the blue coats.
What are they called again?
The Delaware Blue Coats.
The Delaware Blue Coats.
They beat the Maine Celtics last night.
Wow. He's letting the lettuce grow a little bit.
I like it.
Yeah.
Like the beard. It's good, man. Yeah. Real good. And then Aaron
Looks a little like Brandon Ingram. Like, if Brandon Ingram were to really take his hair and beard down, there's some similarities there with those two. Now, look, obviously Brandon Ingram's like 7 feet tall, so there's that difference. I'm just looking more as far as their facial features.
Skylar's beard is better too.
Oh, but that's what I'm saying.
BI's a little patchy,
yeah, and it's really it's out of control.
Yeah,
I mean, he needs to clean it up.
He needs to go to Roosters. It's actually bad.
He needs to go to Roosters and get that thing tangled.
That'd be good, man. Hot towel treatment. Love it.
So.
Aaron Epps finally getting some playing time with the Raptors. 9:05 last night. 2 of 3 from the floor for 7 points. Grabbed 5 boards as well. That came in 11 minutes of play. And one final check-in this week in Hawaii, the Sony Open. Ben Taylor out on the course. He's through 13 holes, 2 under par, bringing him to 6 under for his tournament so far. That has him tied for 8th, just 3 shots off the 9 under lead. Looks like Ben Taylor will be hanging around in Hawaii for the weekend. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, corporate in Bocage and in the Mall of Louisiana. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her, gentlemen, with a gift in the red box. Today is actually my 11th wedding anniversary, and Eric and I don't do presents on the wedding anniversary. Christmas is a little overboard, but if it's a wedding anniversary, if it's Christmas birthday, you will always thrill her, gentlemen, with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. That's right. Wedding anniversary on the same day that Joey B and the fellows polished off Clemson. That was odd. I did not see my wife on our anniversary. I did not see her on our anniversary. It was odd. Oobla-dee, oobla-da. It's a great night for the Tigers, though. Maybe we'll talk about that next hour as well. Theriot next.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
We know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
You ever heard the tale of the misunderstood bull? A menacing beast who was born to float. A force of nature. The embodiment of grace. Quite grand, yet quiet and nimble. The Infiniti QX80.
Experience the Infiniti QX80 at your local Infiniti retailer.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The NFL wildcard weekend starts tomorrow. The Chargers play the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Chargers receiver Mike Williams out with a small fracture in his back. He won't need surgery, but ESPN's Lindsey Theriot reports Williams could be out 2 to 3 weeks. The Bills host the Dolphins Sunday. Miami will start rookie quarterback Skylar Thompson. Tua Tagovailoa is still in the concussion protocol. It'll be the third career start for Thompson. Teddy Bridgewater is the backup. Coach Mike McDaniel on playing a team 3 times in one season.
You really trim the fat, and it's about teams' will against each other. It's an equalizer for sure because you know exactly what it's going to feel like the first play of the game.
Mike McDaniel, Georgia cornerback Keely Ringo, tight end Darnell Washington, and offensive lineman Broderick Jones will all enter the NFL draft. Pending a physical, 36-year-old outfielder Andrew McCutchen will sign a 1-year, $5 million deal with the Pirates, the team that drafted him.
Coming up Monday, I'll tell you who the most important player in the field will be on Monday Night Football, Cowboys versus Bucks. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right. It's that Louisiana boy, yeah, they call him the Riot. Born and raised in the swamps, on the fight like a tiger. He going beast mode, baby, he a beast though. What you think he supposed to do? You pitch a better reload. Get the point.
After further review, the Riot Radio Hour with Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot.
Here comes Theriot. The throw, not in time. Scudero delivers and the Giants lead 4-3 10.
104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN New Orleans.
This is legit, dude. Check me out. I got camo paint on my face.
Ryan Theriot hitless in 4 at-bats.
When it's 20 degrees, Matt, and you're sitting in a deer stand, it's freezing cold.
Okay,
you
I'm
need a beanie on your head.
Our weekly visit with Ryan Theriot is brought to you by Bowie Outfitters. Bowie Outfitters, your home for everything outdoors.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt. Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Music.
Let's go.
We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Yo, bruh.
Yo, bruh.
How are you, man?
I'm doing good. How are you? I'm not doing as good as you actually today with that
really?
outfit.
What you mean?
I love it, man.
Awesome.
I think it looks good. Keep waiting for Doc Brown to walk in the door over there. He's pretty good.
You know what?
Did you drive the DeLorean here? Is that what we got? Are we gonna fight Biff Tannen during the break?
I'm not opposed.
What are we doing, Marty?
Not opposed.
Marty McFly, I like it.
Laugh all you want. I'll have you know.
Did you get that from Kim with the jean jacket? You guys in each other's closets now?
I'm sorry.
Or?
I'm sorry. Do you want me to go there with her?
No, you can, because the jean jacket's actually stylish
you're okay,
now.
You're okay with it now?
Well, now it's stylish.
Or now are you okay with it because you're even closer to her now, so you feel comfortable?
I can just text her and be like, I don't know what he's talking about. I do like it, though. I'll say
you
this.
forget that everything on the show is recorded.
It's a little...
I could absolutely pull the clip of you making fun of Kim and the jean jacket. For those that don't know, when Kramer was playing, Theriot did a whole bit. It was hilarious, but it's one of the funniest things you've ever done here. And it was basically making fun of Kim Mulkey wearing a jean jacket to the LSU baseball game, and you were calling her Jennifer from Back to the Future. And it's one of the funniest things you've ever done here, for sure.
Really good. The vest is good. It's a little aggressive, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because of the hoodie.
I love it. So the vest that I'm wearing has a hood.
Yeah, that's what throws me off a little bit. If
It's like RC's sport coat that has the hood.
Exactly.
I love it so much.
Do you like that?
I love it so much.
See, I hate it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't hate this.
You know how aggressive
Really?
I've gotten with my style in a very, very rapid amount of time.
Let's see the shoes.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's see the shoes. Let's talk about this for a second.
by the way, these are from Ruckus,
Okay.
so they are Nike Blazer SBs. There they are, Nike Blazer SBs, white with the burgundy swoosh, and as I learned this from the folks at Ruckus, very good people over there. I'm serious. They're very, very helpful staff. I like them a lot. If you get SBs, which stands for skateboard, so flat bottom skate shoes. If you have SBs with the orange swoosh on the tongue, those are skate shop exclusives.
Oh,
but you can't get these online. You can't get them at any other. You can't go to Foot Locker or whatever and get these. You could only get these specifically at a skate shop.
We're hoping for a big announcement from Ruckus soon. The good people over at it's a good spot. Ronnie Paul and the boys do a heck of a job over there. But the outfit's good today,
man. So I got the jeans. I got the sneakers.
That's good. What was that? What was that? Phone?
Get me started. Like right when we were starting the show today, I was throwing stuff and dropping F-bombs, like legit. And neither one of these two jacklegs got up to help me.
What happened? What fell?
You can talk. You have a microphone. You can talk.
Currently up under. I mean,
You were going
trying to
for it there.
Trying to
I'm
figure out what you're
guessing
doing.
if it's how the show started or right before the show started. I'm guessing it was his water bottle that fell again.
Water bottle.
Yeah, he had his water bottle.
I was mixing a liquid IV into the water bottle. It tipped over. Completely my fault. Water everywhere. We're like literally about to get to the open, and they just sit there. I'm like running around getting paper towels. They just sit there.
We were about to get to the open. I mean, how to get us on air?
Yeah, we don't have automation software or anything. They just sit there.
Not at that point.
Okay. So anyway.
Outfit's good, though. I mean,
Thank you.
I'm feeling it. And you're right. This was like a 0 to 60, like real fast
I know.
for you. But I like it. The little, little roll on the sleeves.
Well, I always roll the sleeves.
Right?
But you know what else I did? So I have an Apple Watch, and I went and bought like 8 different color bands. Like I have an orange, a burgundy, I have like an army green, like the blue, black, so I could fit the band to match whatever I'm wearing that particular day. I'm on it, dude.
You look good.
New year, new me.
Proud of him. Happy for
It's
you.
all Erica.
I'm happy.
It's her fault.
Happy for Erica.
She gave me the Air Force Ones, and it set me on this path.
Now you're there.
I know.
It's good. It's good. It's a good deal.
Yeah. So what else is happening this week?
Well, it's baseball season.
Not yet.
I mean, it's
5 weeks. 5 weeks from today.
We're practicing like it's coming. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you knew this or not, but I'm a coach now.
Coach Ryan. We talked about it last week.
Coach Ryan. So just so everybody knows.
Remember we talked about you wearing the uniform?
Yep, over at the Dunham School.
You're going to wear the cup and the spikes?
I'm going to wear a cup and spikes. My brother got me a shirt. I'm his assistant. So he got me a shirt for Christmas that says assistant coach. Under it says, just like a head coach, only cooler. So it's a good shirt. I like that. So that's me, the assistant coach. I'm not going to coach a base. I'm going to stay in the dugout.
You're not going out on the field.
Yeah, I'm not going out on the field. I'm going to stay in the dugout.
That happened when you were coaching Houston as a kid and you got run.
Coincidentally enough, when I was playing against Wes.
Oh.
And then he got run the next inning.
Oh. Same hump?
Yes. The story gets better. My little brother was in the stands watching.
Yeah.
He screams to the umpire, "Hey, I'm their little brother. You want to throw me out too?"
Did he?
So good.
Did he?
Beat it.
Did he?
Absolutely.
No,
So we're
he
on the
didn't.
parking lot hanging out. It was
so good. All the Therios. Did Randy get run?
No.
Mary?
Surprisingly.
Oh.
It was
That'd have
good,
been
though.
great.
It was good.
That'd have been great.
So yeah, so baseball's cranking up, and I'm an owner over at Traction. I think everybody knows that
Yeah,
too. And
shout out.
look, I love youth baseball. I think it's great
shout out.
foundation. But there's some things that I like to talk to the parents about.
I think you did this last week.
No.
No, okay.
Mm-mm.
I thought you did a baseball letter last week.
Some things I'd like to talk to the parents about
Okay.
before the season starts.
Okay.
Just a little heads up, just so they can be prepared.
Got it. Ready.
Now that the tryouts are over and the season is upon us, I'd like to talk to the parents out there awaiting this upcoming baseball season. You've ordered every piece of swag that Dick's Sporting Goods has to offer.
Yeah.
You even get a discount from Evo Shield because you've spent so much money. That's all the guards.
Oh, okay.
Oven
I
mitt.
had no idea what Evo Shield
Oven mitt.
was.
Elbow guard.
When did the oven mitt become a thing? Anyway, go ahead.
It's
Go
a
ahead.
thing.
Okay, go ahead.
You've dropped $300 on a pair of cleats, $450 on a bat, and another $300 on a glove, since you need one of those new every year. Your dues to play at your travel team are all paid up, and all that's left is the games. It's go time. Little advice here, parents. Just because you have all the best gear doesn't mean your child will automatically be a good player. No matter how much money you spent on lessons, your kid still couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
Ooh. With the boats on land.
Maybe. Yeah. And if your kid's a pitcher, no, the pocket radar isn't just off. He really does throw that slow. Get that one a lot. Yeah, pocket radar just wasn't working that day. I mean, he was throwing 76, but he's normally 92. No.
The pocket radar.
That's a real thing.
Why do you tell every parent their kid stinks?
They need to hear it.
I know.
Because nobody else will. The coach is going to play the best players available, no matter how many text messages you send stating just how hard little Easton is working in his downtime. You get the video, you get the video of the kid in the backyard, running, catching fly balls at like 9:30 at night. He wants it. He eats, sleeps, and breathes this stuff, coach.
Give him a chance.
Yeah. In the batting cage, 300th swing of the day. Really grinding. Yeah, but he stinks. Like, what do we, that's the thing.
Oh, last week you talked about the hitting coaches. That's the exit velocity.
Yeah.
Somebody messaged me this week.
Oh, bro.
Dude, somebody said, I gotta show you. It was like, my kid has an exit velocity better than Dylan Cruz.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, is this a bit?
Yeah.
No,
No,
he
it
was
was
like
serious.
legit sending me the thing. He's like, I need exposure. I'm like, I'm not your guy.
And he was serious. Like, that's the thing.
Oh.
You clown coaches have ruined this whole thing. Don't get me started on that again, please.
Holy moly.
Okay.
I gotta show it to you.
Yeah, okay, we'll get to that. Hold on. Here we go. Where was I? Okay. Don't be that parent that goes to every single practice. I need you to listen to this, Matt. This is big. You can't go to all the practices. Don't be like the helicopter parent where you're sitting there at practice, okay? Don't be the first parent to show up at the game. That's important. And please don't volunteer to throw batting practice pregame and only coach your kid. So coaches need parental help at some point, like for fundraising or keeping the book or the scoreboard. But when it comes to coaching, like the actual game, see, that's why there's a coach there. Okay? All right, flip side of that, try not to be the last parent to show up. See, that just shows that you don't care. Don't get hammered drunk during the games. Now, this is a big one. This is big.
Why not?
Okay.
That sounds fun.
No. It's fun, but there's different types of drunks walking this earth, and you know that. There's the loud drunk that wants to yell at the umpire. There's the one that celebrates for every little thing. There's the one that yells at the player, their kid's player, because he's not any good. There's the parent that yells at the other team, the other group of 7-year-olds. That guy exists, or gal, 100% exists. So don't get hammered drunk at the games. Moms, we know what's in the Yeti cups, right? So when you're sitting front row with your feet up on the bricks with the big Yeti, we know what's in there. It's either daiquiri or Franzia. One of the two. You keep going in your car to get the box wine.
You can't put a daiquiri in a Yeti. Learn this.
Why?
Because it freezes it. Like if one time I did it with a frozen margarita. Like Erica went and picked up Mexican and got me a frozen margarita. And so I had the frozen margarita, and I took it out of the foam cup and put it in the Yeti, and it freezes it.
Really?
Yes, it does. It's not slushy anymore. It's hardened. So it doesn't work. I know. How about that?
I like that.
A Yeti for a frozen daiquiri, margarita, whatever.
Doesn't
no,
work.
No. I love Yetis, by the way. I made a very pro.
Shout out to Yeti.
Very pro Yeti.
You guys want to sponsor? Y'all can.
Yeah, come on, Yeti. Let's do it. I'd love to put a Yeti right here with a Pro Charge logo on it for you.
Let's do that. It's a good idea.
I'm for hire.
Don't compare your kids to other kids on the team. It's not fair to your unathletic child. Actually, it's your fault that they stink because they're genetics. You have the genetics of a sloth. Therefore, your child will as well. He's never going to be as good as little Johnny. Easton's just not quite there. I don't care what his name is. I guess to wrap it up, parents, just don't be a bunch of idiots. Okay? Enjoy it for what it is. Know that the coaches are trying their butts off and your kids are having fun. Sincerely, Ryan.
We'll do Kick Rocks when we continue on a Friday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Man, I tell you what, you looked at the calendar lately?
No. I mean, yeah, I look at the calendar every day.
You know what season it is in these parts?
Winter.
It's Carnival.
Carnival.
And you know what that means?
Beads.
Nope.
Babies.
Nope. Where do you find the babies?
In king cakes.
In a king cake, and the best place to go get that king cake is Rouse's.
So good.
Official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. It's carnival time. Go get your king cakes, peeps. Get into any Rouse's, of course. They got your traditional. I'm like a traditional cinnamon king cake guy.
Me too.
There are people, however, who like filling, and Rouse's has all of them. So go to Rouse's, pick up your king cake, or go to Rouse's.com and have your king cake shipped. Maybe get that family member, that loved one, the client who loves king cakes but doesn't live here. Ship it to them. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Get your king cakes at Rouse's.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Theriot with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Theriot and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
showing off on my peak. I'm the number one stunner. What? The number one stunner. What? James Bond, Jackie Chain, and that MacGyver. Private planes, Jaguars, Bentleys, private. I'm the number one stunner.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. The Riot Radio Hour with Ryan Theriot and Matt Moscona, presented by Bowie Outfitters.
What's going on over at Bowie Outfitters?
I was at Bowie yesterday, 2 days ago.
How'd it go?
It went good.
Yeah.
My suppressor. I had to go fill out some paperwork for my suppressors. Yeah, I had to get that done. So they'll be in a couple months. Great. They got a silencer shop over there, so you can go and it takes some time to get it in, but you can go over there, Bowie Outfitters, and check them out. But now's a good time to shop if you're a hunter or a fisherman. Now's a great time to get into Bowie Outfitters and shop. They're trying to get rid of some of that hunting inventory and get all the fishing in and get ready for the spring. Go check them out. Holler at my man Lee. He's the best.
We're going to do Kick Rocks here in just a quick second. We talked about this last Friday, and you now have the post up. So a week from Sunday is the LSU Baseball First Pitch Banquet. It's at the Crown Plaza in Baton Rouge, Sunday the 22nd, so a week from Sunday at 6 p.m. ProCharge EV, shout out, ProChargeEV.com, has a table that's Theriot, the new venture that you've talked about. You have a table, and you're giving away 2 seats at the table.
We're giving away 2 seats at the table. You'll be at the table.
I will be there as well.
I'll be at the table.
My dad's going to come. Thank you for allowing the Deke, floating him a ticket.
Yeah, the Deke's in the building. Yep. So yeah, the First Pitch Banquet, very cool. ProCharge is putting that on, and you got to go to the social media platforms. You got all that.
Yep.
What are we doing?
You'll see the post here. There's the post right there on Twitter, but it's also on Instagram and your Facebook, the ProCharge. It's at ProCharge EV. If you like the post, you share it, you follow ProCharge.
Yep.
And I think you tag 2 people, and you can win. So we'll draw for the winner next week, and we'll announce it on air.
What if they just buy a charger too? We could put them in for that.
Yeah, you could buy an EV charger.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have an EV, you should have a charger.
Yeah. Or if you don't, I mean, you might get an EV. Sure.
Yeah,
go ahead, knock yourself out.
Okay. All right. And if you don't, then kick rock.
Sure can.
It's now time to Kick Rocks with Ryan Theriot.
Kick rock.
Kick Rocks.
NBA can kick rocks because they're so dang sensitive.
What are you looking at? Kick Rocks.
As a matter of fact, the NFL can kick rocks too.
We've got rocks. You know what to do.
In that case, then Matt's going to have to kick rocks.
Now let's see if Ryan Theriot actually prepared for this week's segment.
I'm going to tell myself to kick rocks.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
This upcoming season, 2023, AAA baseball, which is the step under the major leagues.
Okay.
Single A, double A, triple A,
sure.
big leagues.
Yep.
Will implement electronic strike zones
Excellent.
for all 30 teams.
Fantastic
and
news.
That can kick rocks.
Fantastic news.
Kick rocks.
No, it's good. So I never have to listen to you complain about umpires again in their strike zones.
No, but I like it. See, I like the arguments.
Nope,
I like when people get thrown out.
Move it along.
I disagree.
Move
I
it
want
along.
I want the human element. So now we got instant replay and we got electronics. Why do we even have umps? I
don't need them.
No, I do.
No, I don't.
I gotta have them.
Why? So you can just run and curse them out and get run out of the game?
Exactly. That's
I don't
part
need
of
that.
it. That's fun.
What I need is the game to move more quickly and for it to be accurate.
Have you ever got tossed out of the game?
No.
Okay, well then it's fun. You should give it a shot, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Getting run is actually pretty good.
What's the percentage of people that play in games relative to who gets tossed out? In a major league season, 162 games times the roster.
Yeah, 25 guys, 162 games, and you probably have.
So there are 4,050 players. That's not even counting. Well, okay, let's just 4,050 opportunities to get tossed. How many guys actually get tossed over the course of a season?
I mean, you don't have a ton.
Right.
You don't have a whole lot, but
100.
Let's probably say 100 ejections. But man, those 100 are good. I mean, doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, like the Lou Piniella kicking the dirt on the bag and all that stuff, like that's That's what I'm talking about. I got to have that in my life.
I'm good.
I need it.
Yeah, 0.02%. No, I'm good. Give me accuracy over the ejections.
The Los Angeles Rams in 2022 won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
A good team. Sean McVay leading the way.
Yep.
They're now 5-12 this year.
Yeah.
And they stink.
Yeah, they stink.
And Sean McVay's coming back, and so to go from being such a good, with all the same pieces, might I add, the team really didn't change a whole lot. I mean, you still had the dudes. That
Von
were there.
Miller, Odell, Cooper Kupp got hurt.
Cooper Kupp got hurt. I'll give him the Cooper Kupp got
and
hurt.
Odell wasn't back, and Von
Odell
Miller was gone. A little different.
A little different. But you still got the quarterback, and you got Aaron Donald, and you got a couple guys the running back.
Stafford got hurt.
Stafford got hurt. A little bit different. They can kick rocks, though, for this 5-12.
Kick rocks.
And the fact that Sean McVay's coming back. Sean McVay's got to go. First off, don't think he's a good coach. I think he has some really good players around him.
I mean, he went to Super Bowl with Jared Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff's a guy.
Not really.
He's a real guy.
He's okay. It's kind of why they ran him off.
PETA can kick rocks.
Okay.
Kick rocks.
PETA.
Is that just a standing kick rocks?
That's a standing kick rocks, but this one's
a perpetual kick
yeah,
rock.
and this one's pretty bad. So they took to social media after the college football playoff national championship game.
Oh, no. What mascot? Ugga?
Georgia.
Ugga.
Ugga.
Ugga's being mistreated.
Ugga's not being mistreated.
Oh.
It's promoting the want for breeds of flat-faced dogs that have breathing issues.
I'm sorry?
They don't want people to buy those dogs anymore. They don't want
bulldogs.
Yeah, bulldogs,
why not?
boxers.
Oh, bleep them.
Right, because they're
I
great.
have 2 boxers. I love my boxers. Greatest dogs in the world.
They even said that in some countries.
What's wrong with that?
It's PETA. In some countries, it's illegal to breed
What's the
boxers,
argument?
bulldogs. They have breathing issues because they have flat faces, and they don't want to promote that. They don't want those dogs. They're not. They
can kick a whole bag of rocks for that.
Because I like boxers. I think boxers are good.
They're great.
I haven't had a whole lot of experience with bulldogs, but I do like boxers. They're good animals.
I miss my dogs.
So here we go. So LSU is going to up its security after fans of Olivia Dunne disrupt the gymnastics meet.
Saw that last week.
Up in Utah, the Tigers were up there, and they had some rowdy fans. Saw the videos, yelling for Livy, and actually the Tigers had to take the back entrance to get on the bus, and then they had the extra security, and I mean, scary, disturbing, cringy. Some ways to describe.
It was like they had the cutouts. So look, fans are fine, right? I mean, you want to cheer for Olivia Dunne's fame. Like this was during the intros, but they were chanting, but they kind of got really rowdy with it. Security had to go kind of break them up. At some point, you got to be respectful of everybody competing, right? I mean, you can cheer, but you can't be disruptive.
So I'm okay with the cheering. I'm okay with the cutouts.
Yeah.
I'm okay with what, even post-match. So them lining post-meet. So them lining up on the way to the bus to get a look at Livy. Because listen, this is what she wants. Like, this is what she does. She's a social media influencer that has followers and people that watch, and she wants attention and likes and clicks. That's her business.
Yeah.
So of course these people are going to come. And that's what you get when you do that, right? However, there is a line there. And when you cross that line, you can kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
I don't think this is needed at LSU. Here's what I'm going to say about Baton Rouge, Louisiana. If you're a professional and you live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I was this guy at the height of my career, it still didn't matter here. Nobody cared. Like, you were still just kind of one of them. And I could go to a different city, Chicago, wherever it was, and it was different. It was much different. But I don't think that you're going to see the same actions from LSU fans or people here than you will maybe in other places. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Hey, bro, I love you, dude. You're my guy.
Yeah.
But you ain't had no 7 million TikTok followers.
No.
I mean, I love you, but
I get it.
I mean, here's a better comp for you. You ready? Joe Burrow.
That was a great comp.
But when Joe Burrow was here and the season started going along in 2019, he did need security, like to get out of the stadium and things like that. Like they did have to ramp that up for him. And I think LSU is right to increase the precautions around Olivia Dunne, because the last thing you want to have happen is to have a crazed lunatic fan do something that could hurt her or someone else. Like, it is truly a better be safe than sorry type thing.
Yeah, I guess there's no coming back from that, right? Like, once something happens, something just happens.
And it's not just here, on the road as well. Road meets. I know Jay Clark said that they will have a security detail when they get on and off the bus at road meets now as well. And you have to. I mean, it's something that you wouldn't normally think you have to do at a gymnastics meet, because you're not talking about typically a super high profile sport, right? I mean, and look, LSU has started selling out the Maravich Center, and it's great fun. I mean, hour and a half, 2 hours, you're in it. It's energy. It's great family fun. I mean, the meets are fantastic.
Sure.
And you can have a great crowd and not have this type of behavior. But when it comes down to this, I mean, you have people line waiting for the bus.
And the stalker stuff is real.
That's a problem.
That is, and what it ends up doing is weighing on Livy, and then you get scared to do things you would do in a. Look, I went through it. You get scared to do things you would do in a normal setting, whether it be dinner with your family, or if she wants to go hang out with a couple of her friends at a movie, like, can you do that? But I'll say this. It's what you signed up for. It just is what it is. When you reach that level of celebrity, that's what it is. Is what it is. Deal with it.
Cobble,
I'm pissed at Cobble, by the way.
Why?
Because he big leagued me today.
Oh, maybe he didn't see you.
Oh, he saw me.
Do you think he did?
100%.
Oh.
He walked right by me.
Yeah, he said hi to me.
He stopped, shook your hand. Y'all stood up, talked.
Yeah.
Looked me in the eye, and then turned around and walked away.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
like he's like, I mean, come on, Cobble.
He had to hurry. He was going he was there to cover the weigh-in for Mackenzie and Moranto.
But a simple like, hey, how you doing, Ryan?
You're right.
Would have been easy.
He told me he just texted that Brian Madden is going on the road with them now.
I don't care what Cobble says. I deserve an apology, a public apology.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Brian Madden is like the very large state trooper that walks with the LSU football coaches. That's like their security detail. That's who's going. Ain't nobody getting near Olivia Dunne. Right? Ain't nobody getting near Olivia Dunne, dude. Can you imagine some
he should be posted up outside a room, just waiting.
Some uppity 19-year-old college kid at Kentucky who's trying to bum rush the bus, and here's Brian Madden. No, it's not going to go well for you, kid. Spend the night in the clink if you live to tell about it. Whoo, man.
Cobble.
Let's see. Cobble said, I did say hi to Ryan. He couldn't hear me through his good-looking hair.
No, he didn't say hello. I wanted to say hello to you, but I didn't want to put myself out there. It was one of those deals where he'd already big leagued me. I figured if I get up, then everybody will see him big league me because he's the guy right now. Apparently, him and Jumbo, like they were the guys.
They were the guys. We're brought to you by Michelle Weighing and Measurement. By the way, speaking of Joey B, today, 3-year anniversary of the Natty.
What a day!
What a day! We'll talk about that when we come back. Michelle Weighing and Measurement, Michelle.com, Michelle.com. One of the things that Michelle, of course, which celebrated 75 years in business last year, one of the things that they really committed to is further expanding their precision measurement device calibration labs and their square footage and their locations. So I've told you 29 across 11 different states. Their Harahan office, they expanded by 6,100 square feet. It's incredible that there's this resource, Michelle, which is our nation's leading distributor of scales. They can calibrate any precision measurement device at any of their labs. They have mobile labs as well. They're just a national leader, and they're right here in Louisiana. It's Michelle Weighing and Measurement, Michelle.com. For all the different industries that they serve or all of the different services that they offer, ISO 17025 accreditation is available. You can go to the website at Michelle.com, Michelle.com, and they are hiring as well. So you can hit the careers tab at the top to see all the jobs that are currently available at Michelle Weighing and Measurement. Michelle.com, Michelle.com. All right, it's after further review. Right Radio Hour rolls on. Stay here.
AFR.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2022 Ford F-150, plus no payments for 90 days and 2.9% APR for 72 months. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
We know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
You ever heard the tale of the misunderstood bull? A menacing beast that was born to float. A force of nature. The embodiment of grace. Quite grand, yet quiet and nimble. The Infiniti QX80.
Experience the Infiniti QX80 at your local Infiniti retailer.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster
Until it uptown, pass it till it uptown, pass it, get the gag, get the gag, get the gag. Until it downtown, pass it till it downtown, pass it, get the gag, get the gag, get the gag. Until it east shoot, pass it till it east shoot, pass it, get the gag, get the gag, get the gag.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, The Riot Radio Hour with Ryan Theriot and Matt Moscona, presented by Bowie Outfitters.
Victory formation in the final minute. It's a trifecta that very few have achieved. Win the Heisman, perfect season, national championship. As they say in the Bayou, laissez la bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. LSU sits on the throne of college football.
Chris Fowler on the call 3 years ago today. Joey B and the boys polished off the greatest, swaggiest season in the history of college football. They routed Clemson just like they routed everybody else, and it was so freaking fun to be there in the Dome that day, watching LSU polish it. It was a really fun day being in New Orleans, quite honestly. It was a fun weekend being in New Orleans the whole time. City was alive, and Clemson just had no shot. I know I've told this story before, but it was in the press box, and Hannah Griff was sitting next to me, and Clemson got up 10-0 in that game. And every time something good would happen for Clemson, and where we were in the press box the Clemson section was right around us. And every time Clemson would score, or they hit a big play early, and they scored, got a field goal, and they ended up 17-7, and the Clemson people were just losing their mind. And every time something good would happen, I'd nudge Hannah Griff and I go, "Do you think reality is settling in for them yet?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're up and they score again, and Hannah would kind of like, I'm not sure yet. Like, this is a challenge. They're down. They've been down 10. First time all year they've been down 10. It's Clemson, the pedigree, and then slowly but surely, of course, LSU took over the game and just spanked them like they did everybody. Yeah. And then as the game, you could literally see the reality settling in with all of the Clemson fans as they realized they were in a fight they couldn't win. And so I kept nudging Hanny like, "You think reality's settling?" And he's, "All right, fine now. It's settled in now." What a great day, man. To be on the field for that afterwards. The shot, if you're watching right here, I'm probably about to jump. Well, no, they cut away from it, but it was right there at the I'm in that shot for sure, right behind Brandon Barrio. When actually, hang on, wait, oh shit. Well, let's go to it. So I was on the line right where LSU took the knee, and I can't see me.
There you are with the vest on.
It's so stupid.
Was that you taking pictures?
I took a lot that day. It was a great day, man. Great day in New Orleans. 3 years ago, LSU, Joey B and the boys, undefeated, perfect national champions, the greatest that ever was and likely ever will be. We shared this with you yesterday. The Sports Betting Dime put out a hypothetical point spread for LSU 2019 against 2022 Georgia. Georgia that just beat TCU 65-7. Mm-hmm. They had LSU a 6.5 point favorite. LSU a ton, and they would have covered with ease.
Yeah,
but LSU would have absolutely annihilated Stetson Bennett. And I mean, like, you realize Ladd McConkey was his best receiver. How would Ladd McConkey have done with Derek Stingley Jr. up his behind, or Christian Fulton, or take your pick? It'd have been ugly.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't catch a ball.
It'd have been ugly. So 3 years ago today, man, LSU wins the Natty. The 2019 champions. What a year that was, man.
We were sitting.
You went to the game?
Yeah. We were sitting right in front of the band, kind of like to the right of the band. So when we got down to our seats, I'm like, "Oh crap, this is gonna suck," because I mean they're gonna be in our ear the entire time. The exact opposite.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, I felt like I was in a club and they just kept playing my favorite song over and over again, and I never got tired of it.
So good.
Like, I'm just sitting. You never sit down and from the introductions on. When they introduced the starters and the place went crazy for Joey B and the whole deal, that was
awesome.
Yeah.
The president was there. President Trump was there, and there was. I mean, it was around election time. There was a huge ovation for him as he walked out.
Yep.
It's always a little more intense. Security's more intense when it doesn't matter who it is. When any president is in a building, if you've ever been in a building where the president is, like, the security and Secret Service is intense. I mean, just getting into the press box was a real challenge because of the lines of Secret Service we had to pass to get into the press box that night. That was another part of it. The now infamous cigar. We remember walking into in the Superdome where they had the post game media was in one of the sort of conference rooms adjacent to the locker room, and they had the dais, and behind it, of course, they had like the black partition, which is just a sheet essentially that we'd see behind as the backdrop. And behind us was the holding room where Burrow and Patrick Queen were. Patrick Queen was the defensive MVP. And I walked into the room and I thought, I smelled the smoke immediately. Like, is smoking in here? Like, you can't smoke. I thought it was cigarettes. I thought someone was smoking. But it was the immediate thing that popped. And then I passed the curtain and there was Joe smoking a cigar.
What if he'd have been ripping a heater?
He
just a straight cig.
It just didn't matter, man.
That'd have been even better.
He was just, at that point, he could have done whatever he wanted. Yeah. And it was a pretty phenomenal thing to be a part of. Just that whole thing was incredible. So
what a year.
What a year, what a night that was. 3 years ago, and that was my wedding. So this is Eric and our wedding anniversary.
Congratulations! How many years?
Today's 11. Nice. So that night, the 13th was the championship game. So it was when we got married. Was on the 13th, and so I didn't see her because it started that day, working ESPN's First Take. They hired me to be the on-site.
Yep, I remember that.
Like the hype guy. I'm basically a court jester to keep the crowd engaged. So, but that show, I think I had to be there at like 4:45 or 5 a.m. So then, of course, went to First Take, and then through the day, did AFR, then covered the game and all.
I did see you.
You didn't see me on First Take.
No, not on First Take.
I don't know if I saw you that day. I wouldn't. I mean, it was. But anyway,
where was AFR that day?
We did the shows in the Auctioner building.
Yep, I did.
Right next to they
had a little reception party thing out there.
Yes.
That's right. Okay.
So there was like a balcony overlooking Champion Square, right adjacent to the dome. But that night, so the game ended, all the post game, everything. I think I ended up walking out of the dome around 1 a.m. after we finished all of our work and everything, and I was going to go to the hotel and crash, and I saw Taylor Calandro. And we totally should have, I'm so out of time, we should have saved this for next hour. And he was at the Marriott. He's like, yo, come on. And I was like, I'm going to go to bed. And I get back to the hotel, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
LSU just won the national championship.
Yeah,
I'm going out.
Yep.
So went over to the Marriott, met Will Stout was there, got to see Will, which he was at, that was at the height of his hype video, everything. I mean, all his Joey B hype video had gone viral. The national championship hype video had gone viral. I mean, everything he did went super viral that year. So hung out with Will, hung out with Taylor, Gary V. Saw Gary
nice.
V. Hung out with Gary V a little bit in the hotel lobby, which was cool. So, yeah, it was just a freaking phenomenal. Everything about it was phenomenal. So, congrats to the 2019 Tigers. The GOAT, man. The greatest it ever was. Yep. All right. It's after further review. We're going to have a quick Ask Ryan to wrap up the hour. We want to get your questions in for Theriot. You can do it. Fire away. Email us, tweet us, jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat or text 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Ask Ryan to wrap up the hour next.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. You want to win $2,500?
I do want to win.
I got an idea.
Okay.
An easy way to do it.
How? Give it to me.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Go to it. Go to @GetGordon.
@GetGordon.
@GetGordon on all the social media channels.
Okay.
And they got the info there on how you can win $2,500 if you dance to the Get Gordon jingle. I know you love the jingle.
I love the jingle.
You want to sing a little bit?
Yeah. Get Gordon. And get it done. Get Gordon. And get it done.
Accidents done. Personal injury done.
I like that.
Car wrecks done. Get Gordon. Anyway, dance to the jingle. Follow all the instructions on their social media. You could win $2,500. Of course, if you've been injured, you know what to do. Do it. Thousands of Louisiana residents have done for 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. GetGordon.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. At least 32 different clerk of courts across Louisiana are offline after a cyber attack. The clerk of courts have been dealing with this for 3 weeks now, and it involves any public entity that uses the COT system. That company has a message on their website saying they are experiencing technical difficulties. Right now, clerks are having to do things the old-fashioned way with a pen and paper. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Black Widow Jeep Gladiators in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. The Riot Radio Hour with Ryan Theriot and Matt Moscona, presented by Bowie Outfitters.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. We're glad you're aboard with us here. There is a maybe potential controversy brewing around LSU basketball. We'll talk about it after the top of the hour.
Okay. I like controversy.
Need a little controversy because I feel so empty without me. Yeah, this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me because I need a little. Ask Ryan. Randall Offrecht said, can you talk some SEC baseball? I said the SEC schedule and the LSU rotation in particular. You got a take on what LSU's rotation is going to be? We'll get into that next hour.
Yeah, let's talk about next hour.
What do you think? Got an idea on the rotation?
Yeah, I think Friday night's going to be the kid from Air Force.
Paul Skeens.
Probably Skeens, and I think he'll be a top 3 to 5 pick. Saturday, I think Ty Floyd's going to pitch.
I think you're right.
And Sunday, I think, I don't know.
Thatcher Hurd.
I think Thatcher Hurd's going to pitch Sunday.
Yep, I think you're right.
Probably.
Okay. Jeffrey Hawk. Ask Ryan. What will the LSU baseball SEC record be in 2023?
How many games they play?
30. How do you not know how many games they play?
I think they're going to be...
Yusuf's laughing at you.
I mean, I don't know. I think they're going to be 24-6.
That'd be a really good year.
Yeah, I think it'll be 24-6. I think you're going to lose. I think you're going to lose a couple Sunday games.
Why?
It's baseball. It just happens.
– 24-6 is still. That's. I mean, that would be the best LSU SEC record ever.
Really?
24-6.
Yeah, it's good. I guess. I don't know.
That is good.
I really don't care what their SEC record is. I just want them to win the last game that they play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Chris Burke.
Chris Burke, like the Baseball player? Chris
No, it's a different Chris Burke. This guy is not the baseball player.
Because he could play. I was
Yeah.
a fan.
Berkey.
Berkey was good.
He said, "Do the St. Louis Cardinals make the playoffs this year?"
Probably not. My guy Matt Holliday resigned after 2 months on the job and never coached. We got a new bench coach there. I don't know what's going on. Need to figure that out. I don't think they will. Hope they do, but
all right. Hour number 3, staring you straight in the face. Look forward to it. LSU basketball controversy next.
AFR.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Corval Toyota in Opelousas is here to help you ring in the new year with no markups, and you'll never pay over MSRP. And we have new inventory arriving daily. So Happy New Year from our Corval Toyota family to yours.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
You ever heard the tale of the misunderstood bull? A menacing beast who was born to float. A force of nature. The embodiment of grace. Quite grand, yet quiet and nimble. The Infinity QX80.
Experience the Infinity QX80 at your local Infinity retailer.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Chargers wideout Mike Williams is out for tomorrow night's wildcard playoff game against the Jaguars. Williams has a small fracture in his back from the regular season finale against the Broncos. ESPN's Lindsey Theriot reports unless the Chargers make a long playoff run, Williams' season could be over. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson won't play in Sunday's game against the Bengals, and ESPN's Field Yates believes there might be a difference of opinion between Jackson and the team.
My interpretation, to borrow Fitz's word, would be that the Ravens seem to think Lamar is fairly close to returning, and Lamar's absence from practice in his tweet last night does not seem to reflect that.
Field Yates on Fitz and Harry. Rams head coach Sean McVay will stay on the job next year after mulling over his future. Last year, McVay signed a contract extension through the 2026 season. ESPN's Jeff Passan reports the Padres will sign outfielder Juan Soto to a one-year, $23 million contract to avoid arbitration.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier to help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right. You can't handle the
Riot Radio Hour.
Let's do that again.
Please, sir. I want some more.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Well, let's start the insanity. Giddy up.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hour 3 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You so. We're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Yeah,
bro.
We are going to. I want to talk in the next segment about Walker Howard. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Okay.
Walker Howard's entered the transfer portal. You all know that. There is a report today that Walker Howard this weekend is going to take a visit to Ole Miss.
Ooh.
There was I think a general feeling by many that TCU was the obvious landing spot. I think that is certainly a very real possibility. But my first reaction here, whenever we got that news, was, and best I could gather, Florida, Auburn, TCU certainly, Alabama would all have sort of hats at the table, so to speak. But Walker's in the process of taking visits. He's got to do it quickly, but I want to get to that. We'll get to that here in the next segment. Also, of course, Hour 3, the second Riot Radio Hour, brought to you by ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. The first pitch banquet contest is up, so ProCharge has a table at the LSU Baseball first pitch banquet a week from Sunday. You can win a pair of seats at the ProCharge table with Theriot. I'll sit at the table as well, so thank you for the invite. My dad's going to come.
Yep.
Haven't seen that. Good to see Matt's dad made it out here. Haven't seen that guy in like 12 years.
The Deke.
I know. Frank's dad. It was an old school. Nah, I thought I'd get Musso laugh. Usually there's certain movies where if I make any reference to the movie, Musso laughs. That one didn't go. No, okay. So anyway, go to any of the ProCharge social media accounts, and you'll see the instructions on how you can win. I'm going to tread carefully with this one because I want to be clear that it's not. I don't think this battle is raging yet, but I want to put it on your radar. There was a movement, of course, for many years to get the court at the PMAC named after Dale Brown, and it was successfully done by an overwhelming vote, 12-3 by the Board of Supervisors. And last year, they named the court at the PMAC after Dale Brown. What largely went unnoticed is this summer, it was in July. This actually published, I'm looking at it right here, July 24th of 2022. Tim Buckley at Tiger Ag wrote a piece and has on-the-record comments from Board of Supervisors members, from Dale Brown, from Collis Temple, and others, that there is a movement afoot to rename Dale Brown Court to co-name it after Dale Brown and the late Sue Gunter. And I will spare you a lot of the conversation, but I think it is suffice to say that this is a movement, and I will listen. Here is a quote from Collis Temple, Sr. Again, quote in Tiger Rag from July. Collis Temple said, quote, this is on the record. These aren't like anonymous sources. This is a man on the board speaking on the record. Yeah. He said, quote, I speak for Collis Temple. I don't speak for the board. But Collis Temple would not understand why, after 12 people decided to name the court for this gentleman, we would change the name again. I would not understand the purpose. In my opinion, if these individuals who made the decision to name the court for Dale Brown wanted to name it something other than Dale Brown Court, we would have done it 5 months ago. So I don't get the logic of naming the court again. I don't get the logic again. End quote. That was from Collis Temple in July. This is something that largely went under the radar. I know we didn't talk about it here in July, and it didn't really move forward then, but what I can tell you, and I'm very comfortable saying, is that some of the people that were pushing this then are starting to push it again. And they're trying to garner support for renaming the court after both Dale Brown and Sue Gunter. And I want to be very upfront and clear. And part of me hates this conversation because I don't want it to come seeming in any way as a slight to the late Sue Gunter, who served as the LSU women's basketball coach for a long tenure and died in August of 2005 of emphysema. So it has been nearly 20 years since Sue Gunter passed, and I don't in any way want to come across as being insensitive to her or her legacy that she built. But I agree with Collis Temple. The court was named after Dale Brown. He went to 13 straight NCAA tournaments. At the time of his retirement, he was the second winningest coach in the history of the SEC behind only Adolph Rupp. He built LSU basketball. Mm-hmm. He took them to 2 Final Fours. There's a reason this was done. And now at 87 years old, just months after this was done, you're going to strip the man of the honor or ask him to move aside. It's insulting. It is insulting.
It is insulting.
What it is.
Essentially, when you add that second name, you are doing exactly what you just said. You are I don't want to say muddying the waters, but you kind of are.
Look, and to be clear, Sue Gunter, I don't know that people know, Sue Gunter there is a Sue Gunter statue inside of the Maravich Center in the concourse. She is honored in the Maravich Center. And I'm perfectly fine with that for the contributions that she made over a long period of time to the women's basketball program. This move by the people that are attempting to push it is literally nothing more than a push for gender equity and inclusion.
Inclusion, yeah.
That's what this is. It's not based on merit. Sue Gunter was a good coach, and coached for many years at LSU. But suffice to say, there would have never been a move to name the court after Sue Gunter, right? Right. I mean, like when you think about places where a court is named, in Tennessee, Pat Summitt, in Arizona after Lute and Bobby Olson, it's shared, but that was a husband-wife. Billy Donovan at Florida, people who relatively built their programs.
People who won something. And I'll say it, just because you were a coach for a long time doesn't necessarily mean that you deserve, longevity is great, but is the sport expected to win? What athletic director is going to sit and let a sport be mediocre forever and ever and ever? They're going to go make a change. I mean, look what Scott Woodward's done in the short time that he's been here. He's went and he's hired winners, people that are going to win championships, whether it be SEC, national championships, get you in the discussion. That's at every single sport. And so, this has driven me nuts forever. When you get rewarded just for longevity, and I appreciate it just like you, but I mean, look, we've had a few of them, and I'm not going to sit there and bash and say names, but at some point you gotta win something. I mean, it's not complacency, but it kind of is from the people that are actually making the hiring or making the decisions. Like, you know, at the end of the day, man, you got to win. And I know Sue Gunter was there for a long time, but I mean, Pokey Chapman won. I mean, she had some winning seasons as well if it's about inclusion. And we have a coach right now. I don't know how long Coach Mulkey's going to be at LSU. That's for her to determine. But I feel pretty confident, Matt, she's going to win a championship.
I agree.
You know, or two, right? I mean, you're sitting at 5 in the country right now in year 2. So let's just pump the brakes a little bit and let's reward winning. Let's put a statue up or name a court or do that for actually winning something.
Look, Sue Gunter won 442 games at LSU. She had a 667 winning percentage. She gets credit for the first Final Four LSU went to. She was the head coach, but Pokey Chapman took over as Sue Gunter left that team on medical leave, and Pokey coached them into the Final Four. But that would have been 14 tournament appearances for Sue Gunter. And there were stretches of not so great years as well. But what I don't want the conversation to become, and it's hard not to, I don't want it to be anything that disparages the late Sue Gunter. But this is something that was voted on and passed, and now based on nothing more than an idea of inclusion, there's a group of people trying to push it forward again. And I hate that for Dale Brown, because at 87 years old, now he's sort of being asked to hey, I know we did this thing, but now we're going to kind of undo it and ask you to move aside a little bit. Like that I don't know how that can be agreeable in any phase. And I'm going to tell you that if the people who are trying to push this forward continue trying to push this forward, there's going to be a big old messy fight, a big public messy fight if that happens. And it's not necessary. These were both wonderful coaches in their time at LSU. I believe they have both been appropriately honored, and it should be left at that. And there will be other coaches down the line who come and do great things. You mentioned Kim, and maybe one day it'll be Matt McMahon, and then in other sports. I mean, Jay Johnson could go on to win 5 national titles. He could. Mm-hmm. What if Jay Johnson stays here for the next 30 years? As he said he'd like to. He has said he wants to finish his career at LSU. What if he does and he becomes a multiple-time national champion? I mean, there is room at Alabama to honor both Bear Bryant and Nick Saban. And there are appropriate ways to do that without insult. You can honor multiple people without insulting others. And this is unnecessary. It's very unnecessary. And again, I'm sort of just, I'm just kind of priming the engine here now to put this on the radar of all of you who are listening right now, who may very well love LSU like I do, and to understand that this is something that may be about to be public and ugly, and I sincerely hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because I don't think at 87 years old, Dale Brown needs to be mixed into this conversation. And I think his legacy is set, and the honor is fitting, and that should be it. And I certainly would hate for this to become some type of giant public debate where you're measuring resumes side by side. The vote happened, and by the way, there was a proposal before Dale Brown Court was passed for a co-naming of the court, which was overwhelmingly rejected by the board. So why are we trying to do this again? I sincerely hope that the people that are attempting this hear this and stand down, because it's not a fight that needs to happen. It's certainly not something that needs to happen publicly. I think you agree.
100%.
All right. It's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. It's Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We're going to knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little Walker Howard. In the portal, taking a visit to Ole Miss. We'll discuss next on AFR.
AFR.
Today is Erica's and my wedding anniversary. It's also, I'll never forget Darren James' birthday, because it's also Darren James' birthday.
Saw DJ today.
We saw Darren at lunch. We had Darren as one of the sponsors of the Moranto-McKenzie fight tonight as well out at Lamar Dixon. So Darren will be spending his birthday out there. We've done this a couple times in the past. I just want everybody to blow up Darren's phone and wish him a happy birthday.
Text.
Just text him.
Yeah. You shoot him a text. I'm gonna do
one of the most genuinely good humans I know. Proud to call him a friend, and I would love to just blow up his phone on his birthday. So it's his cell. I give you Darren's number all the time. And the number I give you is Darren's cell phone. It's 225. It's 335-7666. 335-7666. 335-7666. Just text, happy birthday, Darren. Scone was shouting, yeah, whatever you want to say. Of course, buying or selling a home, you need an agent. You need Darren James. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2022 Ford F-150, plus no payments for 90 days and 2.9% APR for 72 months. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Bounce with the tuba now, that ain't it. I do the jubilee, oh, we made that it. Shake, baby, shake, baby, shake, 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 baby, shake, baby, shake, shake, shake.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we're rolling along. Walker Howard entered the transfer portal earlier this week, and we learned today is taking a visit to Ole Miss. There's been a lot of speculation about TCU, Florida, Auburn. People have mentioned Bama. That's one of the names that I guess I said initially you just never really count on Nick Saban, right? Taking a visit to Ole Miss, a lot of reasons that would make sense. We'll get into this in just a second. Remind people about ProCharge.
Yeah, ProCharge EV. Go check them out at ProCharge. Check us out at ProChargeEV.com, your EV charging station installation company or just distribution. If you want to buy a electric vehicle charger for your home or for your business, check them out at ProChargeEV.com. It's coming. We're super excited about it and super excited to bring this to the Baton Rouge area. ProChargeEV.com. So home or business charging stations? Home or business.
Okay.
Level
you got them on
1,
site?
Yeah, level 2 and 3. We don't carry level 1s. They're garbage.
What's the difference?
Just charging time, right?
So how long it takes to charge a car?
Yeah, level 2, 30 minutes or 30 to 40 miles an hour. Level 3, supercharger, 15 minutes. You're getting a full charge on your vehicle. So it's the non-Tesla, right? So it's able to charge Teslas and all other vehicles. The Tesla chargers you're seeing just charge Teslas. So this is any EV on the market. I had some installation day before yesterday, over at Jerry Lane Chevrolet. So we're super excited about that. And a couple other ones coming next week from installs. So a lot coming this year, and it's just the beginning.
You can get questions as well as if you go to the Contact Us tab there at ProChargeEV.com. ProChargeEV.com. Get your questions answered. All right, I talked about it earlier this week when it happened. You want to give a reaction to Walker Howard jumping in the portal?
Yeah, I mean, look, one of the guys, whether it be him or Nuss, was going in the portal. I didn't anticipate it happening this fast. I kind of thought that they would have some spring ball and some competition and maybe see where everybody's at, and then it go down after that, and maybe even later. So the timing is a little surprising for me, but
I'd agree with that.
But as far as him entering, no, I'm not overly shocked. Unfortunately for Walker, the guy that he's competing with, which would be Nussmeier at this very moment, is a young player. I mean, redshirt freshman. And so, had he been a year or two older, I think it'd be a different story maybe. But they're only a year away as far as eligibility goes.
Do you have a feeling about him leaving?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it for Walker. I think it's if he feels that from a playing time standpoint and an opportunity standpoint that's what he needed to do. I've seen all the social media posts and this and that talking about competition and blah blah blah. But look, the truth is, if you have the ability to play the position, there's people that want you to play the position, and you think and you feel, or maybe he was told from the coaches that he wasn't going to be the next in line, then you got to do what you got to do in order to go do that. And look. I don't think anybody can argue with the fact that the more we saw of Garrett Nussmeier last year, which wasn't a whole lot, but the end of the season, he looked pretty good. I mean, he looked like a pretty good quarterback. And so no, man, I think you got to do what you got to do to get on the field.
I'm a little surprised, man. You've kind of been one of the anti-transfer guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've been anti-transfer, kind of anti-portal, stick it out, compete for the job. I mean, that's kind of, I don't want to put words in your mouth. So why the change on this one? I'm just a little surprised.
I saw what Nussmeier did. I think he might be the best quarterback on the team.
But why not say to Howard, we'll come back and stick it out and try to win a job and compete?
Because I don't think he would have played.
So stick it out.
Well, then he's not competing. You're not playing. Now you're going somewhere to play. Like the opportunity, I don't feel he has the opportunity. He may play his senior year or junior year or whatever it may be, and obviously wants to play more than that.
He's a turned ankle away.
Not next year.
What if Nussmeier leaves after spring?
Well, then he's in a good position. But obviously,
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I mean, you know me. I am an extremist with when we talk NIL transfer portal. I'm acknowledging I am an extremist. I am in a far, far, far extreme where I'm like, let them do whatever they want. Most fans are not there. Coaches are not there. They have to say publicly they're in favor of NIL and guys getting opportunities. But this complicates things tremendously for coaches.
Mm-hmm.
How they recruit, how they manage the roster. I get it, but I don't care. Coaches, you make seven figures, you make millions of dollars, figure it out.
Yeah,
I don't care. The kids get an opportunity to go play. It works out by and large for the young people. I'm not going to penalize them and take away a year of eligibility or make them sit out. No, let them go play. So I'm for it. I'm just pushing back because it feels like with this conversation, you've had a little bit of a change of heart with respect to transfers and portal. Like, what about Xavier Carter, who jumped in the portal yesterday, outside linebacker?
I think it's different in each situation and each scenario. And this one in particular, just being kind of close to it, I think it's the right move for all parties. Somebody was going to transfer.
I completely agree with that. I mean, the really surprising thing is that Brian Kelly said after the bowl game, we played this clip earlier in the week, but Brian Kelly said in the post-game press conference, the bowl game, that he 100% expected all three quarterbacks to be here in the spring. Those were his words. The head coach said we'd had meetings with him. And then 9 days after that, one of them jumps in the portal. Like, what happened there? Something happened. That's why, I speculated Jaden Rashada, the kid from Florida, asking out of his LOI. Man, there looks a pretty good opportunity there. He knows Billy Napier from his time in Lafayette. And Florida's one of the schools that seems to be in it. But first visit to Ole Miss, and I think this is interesting, man. The thing that really stinks if you're an LSU fan is if Walker ends up in the SEC, right? Because you're going to have to play him. If he goes to Ole Miss, if he goes to Florida, wherever he ends up, like you'd almost rather him go to TCU because you don't get to play him, right? Go play with Jack Besh and have a great career, and people cheer for you from afar and want you to do awesome things. It would suck if he ends up at Ole Miss because then, and you have to, look, they got the first visit. You have to acknowledge Ole Miss is a very real possibility.
What's Lane call himself? The Portal King?
I don't know. Does he?
Yeah, something like that.
Lane calls himself the Portal King?
Is that it?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, Ole Miss ain't winning the portal this year. I mean, but I also know.
I don't think that's a good spot for him. I don't see him.
You don't think Ole Miss is a good spot?
No, and I don't.
With Lane Kiffin?
The guy they had this year was a dude. He's a freshman.
No, Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart transferred in from USC.
He was a freshman, though. He was young.
Maybe he's a redshirt. He was a young player, but I don't know that I looked at Jackson Dart and thought,
really? See, I liked him.
He's an irreplaceable guy.
Okay. I liked him. Maybe I just caught him on a good couple games.
Listen, they had and
he's got a hell of a name.
Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
They had a quarterback battle, and for the first few weeks of the season, they were just alternating starting quarterbacks there. Mm-hmm. And then ultimately they settled on Dart, which I think everybody figured they would, and he threw for 2,900 yards. So, it's interesting. Almost to the number, the same amount of passing yards that Jaden Daniels had this year, 2,974. 20 touchdowns, but 11 picks for Jackson Dart. And Ole Miss had a strong start to the season, but then obviously faded late. What were they, 1-5 down the stretch? So, I don't know. It was.
Who was the other guy in the quarterback competition?
Luke Altmaier.
Was it the big kid?
No, I think Luke Altmaier is even from Mississippi. Like he's from Starkville. So he's a Mississippi kid who went there. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. So not a big kid, but Altmaier and Dart were alternating to start the season. Ultimately, Dart won the job, but Ole Miss's season played out to where they had such a light early schedule. They had the luxury of doing that. Trying to let those guys get experience to play it out, and ultimately Dart won it and played. I'm not saying he played badly this year by any stretch, but I wouldn't look at him and say that guy's irreplaceable.
Right.
As I guess what I would say. So Dart was a sophomore this past year. There for Ole Miss. So Walker, if you were, I guess the thing that might be a little perplexing. I don't know your thoughts on this, but if you're Walker Howard and you leave LSU, it's almost like you would want to go to a place where there wasn't an incumbent.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, wouldn't you want to go to a place where you're gonna play? Like the coach tells you come here, you're playing.
Well, you're leaving because you don't feel you have the opportunity to play. That's why you're leaving. I mean, you're not leaving because you have an opportunity to play. You're leaving because you don't think you have an opportunity to play. So to leave that situation and go into another one where you're still competing doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Well, here's where I would say this is what I would think is the difference. At LSU, Walker Howard is the number 3. Jaden Daniels is getting the lion's share of the first team reps, and then Garrett's getting some of them, and then running second team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Walker Howard is, as the number 3, you're running scout team. You're throwing passes to walk-ons and you're giving the defense a look. You're not. The question is fair to be asked, are you really improving?
Yeah.
Or are you just waiting? You can go. I don't think, and I believe this just with enough of the conversations I've had over 2 years about Walker Howard is, and we've all said this, he was okay waiting for a year. He was okay sitting for a year, taking the red shirt, getting bigger, adjusting to college, all that sort of stuff. And I don't think he needed to be handed the job in year 2, but he had to be able to compete for the job. And realistically, he doesn't have that opportunity here with both Jaden and Nussmeier back. If
not this year.
If one of them had left, if Jaden had gone pro or if Garrett had transferred, I think Walker stays because he's still getting reps. He has the opportunity, right, which he wouldn't have here. And then if Garrett stays and then is the starter next year, then Walker is in the same spot, as a backup then another year removed. So the difference would be if he goes to Ole Miss, now I would presume he would leapfrog Luke Altmaier. And then he'd compete with Jackson Dart for the starting job. So he'd at least have the opportunity to compete for it, which I don't think he would here at all.
No, I don't either. But, I mean, there's a lot of schools that you mentioned earlier that don't have an incumbent. That they need a quarter. I don't know what's at TCU.
All right, well, Max Duggan is done, right?
He's done.
He was a Heisman finalist. And so that, to your point, there's an opening there, right? And so there's a lot of people thought that made sense. Is TCU recruited? Now, granted, it was Gary Patterson who was the coach who then got fired last year, and they had an interim situation, then hired Sonny Dykes. But TCU recruited Walker out of high school, and Jack Besh is going there, and they had great team success this year, and they run a pretty fun, wide-open offense, and his best friend is there, and there's an opening. So there's a lot of reasons why I understand people say, well, that makes sense. But Ole Miss got the first visit, bro. Don't minimize that. I mean, we were talking about the big defensive lineman, Justin Rodgers from Kentucky, who transferred. He was supposed to be at LSU and then Bama this weekend. His first visit was Auburn. He didn't leave campus.
They got him.
So, I mean, I'm not telling you 100% I know Walker Howard's going to Ole Miss. I'm not telling you that, but they got him on campus first. That means something when you get the first visit. You can say it doesn't, but it does.
Yeah.
So, and go play for Lane Kiffin. Who knows what they're telling him?
Yeah. There's worse places.
There's better places, too.
There's better places.
Yeah. All right, we're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Big shout-out, Dr. Blake Williamson. I wonder if Dr. Blake's going to be at the Casey McKenzie, Ryan Moranto fight tonight. It seems like everybody in town's going to be there.
I'm not going.
Yeah, I'm not going either. I would like to go, actually.
For what? To go watch two old guys beat up on each other? Come on.
They're not old. And I think Moranto's only like 28. He's a young guy.
Really?
Yeah. But and I don't
28.
And I don't think they're going to beat up on each other either. There's not a lot there that lends you to believe this is going to be some type of battle royale. You know what I mean? I mean, two dudes who ain't exactly in fighting shape, wearing headgear and 16-ounce gloves when they've never been in a fight. I mean, that may be the fun part of it.
That's going to be the fun part.
You got comedy. Yeah,
I don't know. How long are the rounds?
I think they're doing 3 2-minute rounds. Is what they
about round 3. If it goes to round 3, they're going to both be toast.
They are going to be jelly-legged after 30 seconds.
Yeah, because the first 15 seconds, it's going to be like schoolyard, just throwing haymakers.
Adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
Total adrenaline dump after 30 seconds.
Can I buy this thing? Is it like pay-per-view?
No, it's not pay-per-view. You got to.
I gotta see that. I like to see this.
Dude, they should have totally streamed it somewhere.
Well, I mean, you want to sell tickets, of course.
I get that, but
there will be plenty of social media videos.
Yeah, that's true.
You better believe there'll be plenty of it. Anyway, I was supposed to talk about Dr. Blake Williamson. Maybe he'll be there. It seems like everyone is. If you want to see 2020, maybe these guys, you want to see your target. LASIK. How about that? You know, you want to be able to move, avoid the
stick and move.
Doom, bop, bop. 924-2020. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. WilliamsonEye.com. All right, a couple of basketball games. Pels on the floor tonight against the Pistons, and the LSU Fighting Tigers, Matt McMahon and the squad, they are against Alabama tomorrow. Yeah. Talk some round ball when we come back at AFR.
AFR.
Hey, you need a place to. Hey, you know what they should do, man? They should have a watch party for Mackenzie Moranto at Pluckers.
Yep.
Stream it in there. Go pack out Pluckers.
Just crush some wings.
That'd be great. Beers, wings, guapo dip, cheese fries, holy macaroni. homemade blue cheese potato chips. Ugh.
So good.
Give me some more. It's at Pluckers.
Larry Bird.
Do you like the Larry Bird?
I do.
I do too. So the Larry Bird, for those that don't know, is the it's the all white meat chicken sandwich. So they take the grilled chicken breast and they'll toss it in your favorite wing sauce, and it's a chicken sandwich. So it's I guess it's really good.
Yep.
It's at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. NFL playoffs tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday. One place to watch all your action. Eat wings, drink beer. It's at Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll get the bird.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Black Widow Jeep Gladiators in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision.
Time on cash my roll. Extreme entertainment. This is the way I live. Little boy still pushing big wheels. I stack my money, lay low and chill.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I can't listen to Baby Boy, right? Baby Boy and the Prince.
Baby Boy and the Prince.
I can't listen to this without thinking about the New Orleans Saints mix version of it. And this is you may not care about this, but so Erica on her playlist has the Saints version mix, and so when we're in the car and Drew's in the car, he always 100% of the time says, "Saints song, please. Saints song, please. Saints song, please." And we have to listen to Baby Boy and the Prince, the Saints version, over and over.
He loves
and
it.
over. The whole thing.
It's my guy.
That was
Say something, please. Say something, please.
06 with
that
that
was.
one.
I mean,
That was
it's all about
06,
Reggie Bush and Charles Grant and
year
Joe
one.
Horn. I mean, it's
because Black and Gold Super Bowl was Kevin Gates.
Yes.
That was
No, that was 06. That was all the way back.
That was good.
Just bliss him, get a sack. Offensive line, just push him to the back. Defensive line, just bliss him, get a sack. I'm telling you, I've heard the song 8 bajillion times. If Drew Benjamin Moscona hears Baby Boy and the Prince, the Saints version, it's over because that's all you're listening to the rest of the day.
Drew Benjamin.
Say song, please. Say song, please. Anyway. All right, LSU basketball tomorrow against Alabama. How you feeling?
Not good.
You are, sir, our resident basketball expert who once put up how many in a game?
70.
Is 70 over the course of 3 games, though,
It wasn't one game. It was over the course of 3 games.
Scored 70 in the night, over the course of 3 games.
Over
so
in Capital, yep.
You're the hoop head over here. You're the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So give me your thoughts here.
Okay, so Alabama's really good. Better than LSU.
Yeah.
Their players are better, and they've got some NBA talent on the team, and we've got one guy maybe. So talent-wise, it's not looking good for the Tigers.
KJ's a pro for sure.
He's a pro. I don't know if it's NBA, but he's a pro.
He's an NBA player.
Maybe, yeah.
Because he can stretch the floor. He can step out and hit a 3, and then he can get his shot at. No, go ahead. I was going to look at his 3-point percentage. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, he can shoot. I get it. But here's the issue. So LSU played Kentucky and played them really good.
46%.
Yeah, he can stroke.
He can shoot.
I get it. They played Kentucky. They played them really good, and a couple things happened. They didn't win the game, but they went toe to toe with a pretty good team. They're not the top 3 Kentucky teams that we're used to, but they're pretty good. They got some pros.
They stink. Kentucky stinks.
Okay. Well, they're better than us.
Yes, but so is basically everybody else in the conference right now.
LSU's guards in that game shot the ball a lot, and then you had a Hannibal. You had a guard that was penetrating at will and getting to the rim and making some circus shots and kept LSU in the game. But the difference was Adam Miller was shooting a lot, and he was making some, and he got hot, and then KJ's going to do his thing, and then you had some support from 20. What's his name?
Derek Fountain.
Fountain had a decent game. If the guards don't make it happen, so you've had Justice Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Has not played well the last few games, has not shot the ball.
He's seen his minutes go way, way down.
Yeah. Has not shot the ball.
And needed to happen, by the way. I mean, it's
correct. Their only chance is if they make a lot of 3-pointers. I mean, to keep it kind of close. So I'm not really excited about this game. And let's just hope they play hard.
I'll tell you this. I want to be very clear. I think Matt McMahon is going to win and win big at LSU. I think it is so clear this is a basketball team that has defensive intensity. They're disciplined. And they are well coached. You saw this in the pre-conference when they went 11-1, and we basically saw the same game like 9 times where they got a lead, lost it, and then made plays late to win. They were well coached in late game situations. Matt McMahon's a good coach, and he's going to recruit, and he's going to get players here, and they're going to win. They're going to win with him. It's just not going to be this year. This team, he had an impossible task, man. All 13 scholarship players left.
Yeah.
I mean, and they had to build a roster with a whole bunch of quad 4 games just so they could figure out, so they could have some success and figure out what they are. If they had tried to load up their schedule with a bunch of tough non-conference games and they were just getting bludgeoned, then you're not getting better. You're not learning what you are and what you can do well. So they just, and the SEC schedule makers, and this isn't that the league office hates them. It's just the league is really good. Mm-hmm. The league is really good. You've got 3 top 10 teams. Arkansas is 9th. Bama's 4th. Wait, I'm sorry. Tennessee's 5th. It's a tough league. I mean, when almost half the league is ranked, most of the games you play are going to be against ranked teams. Yeah. So, in whatever order it goes, can they just make it through the rest of this month? Because it is going to lighten up later, and they're going to have an opportunity to win some games. It's just not right now. It ain't going to be tomorrow.
It's not going to be tomorrow.
And by the way, LSU never wins at Coleman Coliseum anyway. I mean, that's a really, really tough place to play. For whatever reason, historically, LSU has been abysmal at Coleman Coliseum. So trying to win there against this team, I mean, it would be a pretty monumental upset if LSU went and pulled it off tomorrow. I hope they can, but I think you're spot on. KJ's going to get his, but Adam Miller's got to shoot the ball because they just don't have other shooters. He's got to be 5 of 8 from 3.
Yeah, no, better than that. I was looking through I got one of the little. Jonna likes to get the programs. Every sporting event we go to, she's got to have a program.
Okay.
Every sporting event.
I don't know what you were doing.
So I was looking at like career leaders and averages and stuff. You know what I want?
What?
I want another Chris Jackson.
Oh, a guy that scores 35
They can just light it up.
that'd be great.
That was so much fun to watch.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes. We need to know one of those guys. Coach, can we go get one of those? That's what I want.
Well, yeah, Cam Thomas. I mean, he was a sensational scorer.
He could score.
I mean, that's what he did. He didn't play a lick of D, but boy, he could score. And we'll let him say, "Hey, bro, let's go score." Just what do you want to shoot? Just shoot. You remember sitting right there? You did the funny fadeaway thing.
So
here's Cam Thomas. You're like, you did 18 jukes and then faded away and threw up a piece of paper.
No, I want Chris Jackson. I want one of those guys.
Yeah.
I want like Steph Curry. Can we get him? I want somebody like that that just bombs threes. That's what I need.
Makes them?
And makes them.
Yeah, the problem is those guys go play in the NBA. Then they don't stick around college basketball.
For a year, we could get them.
Yeah, for a year you could. You had Cam Thomas for a year. All right, we're going to wrap up the show with some Ask Ryan. So get your questions in. You can ask Theriot anything about anything. You can email us, Matt at 1045ESPN.com. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona.
Hey, Twitter world.
Thank you, Juice. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. By the way, if you're there, please smash the like button. Or you can text your questions for Theriot in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Ask Ryan next.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 hour air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Have you seen what the low is tonight? 31.
Well, that's cold.
Yeah. Next 2 nights, freezing temps. I hope you took my advice, had that preseason heater safety check to make sure your heater's running safely and efficiently, because you're going to need it the next couple of nights.
You're going to be cold.
If you have an issue with your heater, though, call River City's 1 hour air. We're heading into the weekend, right?
Yeah, Saturday.
Tomorrow Saturday. And a lot of people may think,
missed it.
Closed.
Missed it. Yeah, they're closed on the weekend.
No, not closed. Not closed. Nights, holidays, weekends, doesn't matter. They will send a technician to you. Nights, holidays, weekends. I've had a technician come to my house on Easter Sunday at 5 o'clock. I'm dead serious.
Get out of here.
So just a regular old Saturday in January?
Easy money. Easy money.
River City's 1 hour air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. It's River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001.
Toyota in Opelousas is here to help you ring in the new year with no markups, and you'll never pay over MSRP. And we have new inventory arriving daily. So Happy New Year from our Corvette Toyota family to yours.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
You ever heard the tale of the misunderstood bull? A menacing beast that was born to float, a force of nature. The embodiment of grace, quite grand, yet quiet and nimble. The Infiniti QX80,
Experience the Infinity QX80 at your local Infinity retailer.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Hey, remember, next week, we'll have the drawing.
Yes.
For 2 tickets to the to the LSU baseball first pitch banquet.
Yep.
To sit at the Pro Charge EV table with Theriot.
Yep.
I'll be there as well.
And you.
But Theriot is the reason people want to go sit at the table. You sit with. Yeah, it is.
Tilly's going to be there too.
Theriot is the reason people are going to go sit at the table, right? Tilly's great too. I'm sure he'll eat like a giant hamburger, some fries, some gravy on top of it.
Yeah.
How does that guy weigh like 87 pounds? He weighs like $160. He eats whatever he wants.
It's genetics, bro.
No, lucky guy. All right, so go to ProCharge EV at ProCharge EV on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. You'll see the pinned post there about ProCharge. You got to like the post, follow the page. You'll like ProCharge on Instagram, whatever, and share it, tag some people. You'll see all the instructions on how you can win. And the guys will pick a winner. Winner will get 2 seats to the LSU baseball first pitch banquet.
Come sit with us.
Bro, it's like $100 a head, and it's sold out.
Oh, it's sold out.
It's sold out.
Yeah,
it's at Crown Plaza a week from Sunday, 6 o'clock. Entire LSU baseball team. A lot of former players will be there as well. Bregman will be in town for it. Or supposed to be in town for it. But anyway, be a good time. Okay, let's get to Ask Ryan. Ask Ryan. Eric Gotro. Ask Ryan. Best uniforms in baseball.
LA Dodgers whites, New York Yankees pinstripes.
Yeah.
Then the Phillies powder blue.
Brennan Thibodeau, ask Ryan, why do people from Baton Rouge call each other coach?
I don't know, but that's a thing. I mean, that is definitely a thing. I love it. I think it's good.
It's the former LSU baseball players that do it. It's Doug Thompson. It's Ronnie Rance. Like, I don't know if it started with Skip. It can't, but like,
my guy Rooster Southall is I would say is one of the originators. He's pretty good.
I think Barbier does it.
Pretty good.
It's all the former LSU baseball players that do it.
My guy Micah Schilling is pretty infamous for dropping coach on people. Yeah, I like it.
It's a baseball thing.
I think
it's all the baseball guys.
Coach.
What's up, Coach?
You know who likes Coach? Jordy.
Coach.
Jordy loves Coach.
Coach. Trey Simmons, ask Ryan, will LSU football win the Natty next year?
Yep.
Dustin Blanchard, ask Ryan, who will end up being in the weekend rotation for LSU?
I think we did that earlier. Skeens? Is it Skeens?
Skeens.
Skeens.
Floyd.
Ty Floyd. and then the kid from UCLA.
That's your herd.
Herd.
Jessica Bonnell asked Ryan, who will be the home run leader this year?
Oh, Tommy Tanks. You know who's going to hit homers this year? Trey Morgan is going to hit homers this year.
By the way, Brian Bourgeois said Luke Altmaier transferred to Illinois.
Oh, well, there you go.
So you're doing it there. Any more? Ask Ryan, who will win the Natty next at LSU's from Jed Bork? Baseball, women's basketball, or football?
Baseball's going to win it this year.
You think so?
I think so. I hope so.
Me too. All right, I'll do it for us. Muse, Paulie, appreciate y'all. Have an awesome weekend. We'll see you Monday at 3. NFL playoffs this weekend. Good times.
AFR.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
Before we begin any electrical work here, we perform a home safety check that begins at your electrical panel to make sure that you and your family are safe. For all your upgrades, installations, and repairs, call Mr. Electric.